Hello everyone and welcome back to the Summoners War European League. We are here to give you all of that great action in day number 3 of the 6 weeks that are still happening right now. Of course, bringing you all the action is myself, Sam, joined by Mr. SmokeZzz. How are you doing on this fine Wednesday evening?
Doing pretty well. Very curious to see what the gentleman can bring. Is Obabo going to extend the lead even more? Are the people that are sitting at the bottom of the leaderboards getting more points on the board? That's all what we're going to find out today.
It definitely is. We are going to find that out because at the end of today, we will then be halfway through our league phase, and all of those points really do matter for the rest of the players that have still got plenty of more matches to try and get up that leaderboard. We've got a mixture of points, like you said. There's kind of a little bit of a gap starting to form, I would say, definitely at the top. Somebody has come into play, and Mr. Obabo is still sitting pretty at the top of that tree at the moment. But if you don't know about the Summoners War European League, where have you been the past 2 Wednesdays? We're always here at 8 o'clock, bringing you all of this incredible action. We've got best of 2s. We've got the playoffs all the way in April the 4th. And of course, we're here to get some well-earned prize money right here. Now, say we've seen it in some of those previous matches from the previous weeks that we've been through. Best of 2, you can lose that first one, but always come back to get a point. And it's really important to get those points right.
Yeah, we actually see that with some players. We see that with Guts the Berserk, currently sitting at the 3rd position, but he actually got 1 victory and 3 draws. And draws means you lost 1 match, you won 1 match. And that just rocks in that many more points that he's above people that won 2 and lost 2. So those are the kind of things that you want to be looking for. At least get 1 point off the board. It makes it where your enemy doesn't have 2 points, and at least you walk away with 1 point. As we see right over here, Guts sitting at 5 points. And we see Obabo still undefeated. He did not even lose a single point all the way on top. Also, we do see that the people that are in position 1 to position 8 are going to be qualified, and the ones under that are not going to be qualified. So Raxxaz, Scribble, Aryes, and Malignant have to step up their game from now on to still make it to those playoffs.
Definitely do. I mean, we're getting to that phase right there where you say getting into that top 8, probably halfway through. What do you think probably is going to be that minimum point requirement to actually even get into our playoffs? Probably somewhere around an 8 or a 7?
It's hard to say because it's a little bit different of the amount of matches that they're playing compared to last year, but I'm not 100% sure. Also, every time from last year, I kind of tend to forget like what was the edge of where you'd have to go in. But I think 8 is a comfortable position. And might you already say, Obabo is already at 8. He's already done. He has like 4 more weeks for just like, yeah, I'll just walk around and see what happens. But he pretty much already made it to the playoffs.
I mean, definitely. But like we've seen on that leaderboard, the higher you are, the less matches you'll have to play in those playoffs, which are going to be happening on the 4th of April. So less matches. Usually it's better. You don't want to be up to the RNG gods in this game, especially if you've got a few more best of 5s to play off against other players. And I mean, with all of that as well, we're going to be getting right into these first set of matches as well. So we've got plenty of games to watch. And there's even the headline match as well today, which I believe is Obabo versus Raxxaz, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that is correct. And also Obabo is currently ranked, I think, 6 or 5 on the leaderboard, which is really high up. Raxxaz is sitting at, I think I saw just now, 1,700 points, so that's also around top 20. So a lot of these players are actually currently very high ranked. So let's see if they can also make it through this match. And if Raxxaz is going to be that first person to take off a point of Obabo, or maybe even take 2, because Raxxaz was seated below the top 8 at the moment. So he has to take all of the points he can get.
Definitely does need all of the points that he possibly can get. We're just trying to get into that very first match as well today, which is going to be Aryes versus Ismoo as well. So Ismoo seems to always just be playing first in the way that these kind of fixtures have been set up right now. Had, I'd say, a mixed bag of results as well. Kind of has been strong, but maybe is that box a little bit too big with LDs?
Well, I think it's also a bit on the current meta. The current meta is kind of setting a little bit more in stone. It's either double Draken Warriors or on the other side, double Monkey or a Megumi plus a Monkey, and then it could be either Wind or Water. We don't see too many Twin Angels anymore. We do definitely still see people playing with their signature LDs. In the case of Ismoo, that would be around his Yeonhong plus Gianna. But we do kind of see the meta somewhat settling in stone where it's Erusian and Solvark, or Erusian as a first pick, and then just followed up by like Ashers or any kind of shape of way that you can go for an AoE kind of style of cleave. But on the other side, it's really then heavy on the turn 2. And as of the last few weeks, we actually haven't seen too much Water Gandalf. But Water Gandalf is still one of those really dominant targets that's always there, paired it up with a Josephine to provide the shield. Same with an Angela. It's just a really annoying unit to deal with. It kind of reminds me of back in the days, Molly. The good old Molly meta that we also... was one of those things is like Molly first pick. There's one of those again. Now with the Gandalf, we're kind of looking at the same kind of ideas. And the thing is, I don't expect it in this match, however, because I have been checking out what Aryes was playing, and he's back to a Gani Hathor. He's playing Gani Hathor with the Wusa, which is actually a style that I've seen Madrimdi that's currently also seated around top 10, or was seated at top 10 for a while. Gani Hathor Wusa. Let's see if he's going to lock that in against Ismoo right here.
Let's find out. I'll come back to it in a second, sir. We won't skip your predictions because everybody is waiting in the chat for that one. But is it Aryes or is it Aryes? Honestly, by the time we figure that out, the pronunciation, Ismoo will have already made this match utterly inevitable. Let's find out because he knows what you're thinking, sir. Get rid of Hathor. Get rid of her.
Yeah, simply, we're not going to see that thing. Keep that thing hidden, as I would like to say it. We are not going to play that. On the side of Ismoo, he's playing a lot with LDs, but he's also definitely playing a lot on the meta. And there you have it. We have the Draken Warrior on the meta. And a very fast lock-in by Aryes right there. With a Asima, you normally never see his first pick, and a Hey Gang.
Wow, Asima coming out straight. That seems like a very early pick as well. I mean, Ismoo kind of just following up with that current meta anyway. We're seeing the Escher, we're seeing the Solvark as well. But Aryes, is he cooking something here?
Yeah, it's kind of the question. Like, Hey Gang does counter a few units, but if that Draken Warrior isn't on this pair, it doesn't counter it as much if Ismoo just shows too much speed to the table. And so far, Aryes is going full turn. So in the case of Ismoo, if you go for a Tiana or a Wind Robo or a Triton, ending that up with a Maximilian, that is a Leo ban in my book right there. That's a Maxi ban in my book right there. I think Ismoo has a very good draft, unless the RNG gods have something to say about that.
Let's find out. It is Summoner's War, folks. Leo banned out, Solvark as well banned out. So we're going to have that speed lead against the accuracy lead in our very first match of day number 3 of the Summoner's War European League. Aryes versus Ismoo. Who's going to take that first point right here?
That is a really big speed gap. You do lose your speed buffs with that skill 3 of the Tiana, which is not really that convenient. But what we're looking for right now is the pushbacks, because the pushbacks are absorbs. Can you get all of them? Was one resisted, so it made you 75 attack bar, so you're not fully lapping right there, which is a little bit bad. Otherwise, you could have had a rotation on that skill 2 as well.
Yeah, Reshion coming in now with a little bit more damage coming in, but Hey Gang's going to have to perform miracles right here, say.
Oh, just glancing on about everything, which is not that bad, but still good crits coming in from that unit right here. Big question right now, who do you kill? I think you have to go for the kill on the unit on the right. Does actually take it down, because that is the cleanser, and then we take a turn. Midnight is taking everyone out.
Damn, Ismoo coming in very clean then right there. So, I mean, it was kind of like a speed contest that Ismoo was testing, and Aryes was like, oh no, I can deal with it, but found out quite quickly, oh, I can't deal with that one, right?
Yeah, it's also interesting to see that Ismoo had a Tiana runed up for this specific occasion, or maybe he has it runed up in common style, but it's kind of uncommon for people to have Tianas unless you're kind of cleaving on a Nefty style, maybe a Maximilian style with the Tiana these days. But yeah, just a simple Hey Gang is not gonna counter that, and especially if the speed gap between the two players is that much, then there's not too much going on. So in this case, Ismoo does ban out the Hey Gang, which gives Aryes the option to go for a Ganymede, Hathor, and Wusan. Let's see if he actually wants to lock that down.
Let's find out. We've seen the Intermission being taken out as well, so no speed lead necessarily for Ismoo in that first pick, but Asima first pick is wild.
Yeah, Asima first pick, especially if you don't have a Hey Gang. That's going to be a very interesting style. On the other side of Ismoo, as I mentioned, a Monkey plus a Megumi is a very good opener. Good counter by a Josephine. Could go for... I'm not sure about that hacker, though.
Yeah, like... I don't know what Aryes is cooking, but something is going on crazy right now. I mean, Ismoo coming there with that Wind Nabara and the brother.
Yeah, that is the Nyx, but that is the Nyx with a 1. And the Nyx with a 1 is actually a very strong counter against a lot of debuffs, because you can maximum hit 2 debuffs. But also, while 2 debuffs are on your team, you're going to get a lot of damage reduction. So once again, I think that the draft of Ismoo is just simply taking first turn, and let's see how we go from there.
Yeah, it's whether or not Aryes can kind of hold on, I would say, here against Ismoo. We're getting that Dark Zenitsu taken out as well as that Nyx as well there, say. So we, again, will have a speed lead. We'll have a speed advantage for Ismoo. HP lead on the side of Aryes. Let's figure this one out if we can. Match 1, set 2 between Aryes and Ismoo in the Summoners War European League.
Yeah, let's see. Josephine will cut after this skill, but I think you still have to send it. He's gonna send it. Where does he send it? Is it going for the Asma? No, we're gonna go for the Tricks, which is going to be the unit that is the setup. Also, once again, look at the difference in speed bars between the units. Everything of Ismoo's side is at full attack bar, when an Asima's at half attack bar right there.
Yeah, oh, big resistance there, though. Say Layla's gonna have to try and clean up a little bit.
Ooh, Layla's not doing the right thing. And also these shields will make it where Nobara doesn't have as much value, because Nobara, sure, she does a lot of damage, but she also does damage to herself, but she doesn't have a shield to protect her from that damage, whereas the enemy will have shields to protect her from that damage that is gonna come in. So big question is, good. Oh, that's going to be a huge one on that Virus. Virus taking its turn, giving a little bit more debuffs already. Asima, oh, the additional turn is huge. Taking out this Asima. Can you stun it? Does not stun it, but we do lower the attack bar.
Yeah, it means you are going to be coming around. Maybe you can get a stun popping out right now, even with a skill 2 as well. But I mean, Nobara with those 2 debuffs is going to start taking health down, and she'll get some more.
Oh, that's going to be a lot of damage, because this is not just the dots doing damage. This is the dots on also the passive doing a lot of damage. Everything that comes in for damage is going to be a lot of damage because of this hacker on the field. And with that amount of dots, the next turn for some of these units might be their final turn already.
Oh, like, I mean, she's just done a saving grace. She's done a little martyr there. Joan of Arc, die, but take out all of that health, say.
Oh, that 1 HP on the hacker makes it where you can take out the hacker, so the hacker's not going to do the extra damage. The stun of the Josephine not connecting. If that hacker lived a little bit longer, or the Josephine would have been able to stun there, I think this match might have looked very different, but it's still not over yet. The monkey has to do quite an uphill battle, because the 2 friends that he has on the field are very low on the HP.
They definitely are right here. And again, Gandalf getting up some more shields with that protection. I mean, Monkey's not going to be looking too healthy when those dots come in.
Yeah, all the reflect damage coming in, but this was not 600 HP. Reflect damage on this skill 3 will actually not really matter, but the reflection coming in on the other units will matter at some point, because the HP is super low. Additional turn, 1.2k not taking it out, but the other 1.1k is taking it out. We also say goodbye to the Layla, and this is a monkey battle. He does not like to fight. He does not like to fight against all of those shields.
Wow, Aryes bringing it back 1 apiece between himself and Ismoo right there. Say, you were saying it earlier when we were getting into this, people were sleeping on that water Gandalf. They've been sleeping far too hard, because look at what he's just done for Aryes in that situation.
But I also just feel like you draft the water Gandalf, you get better RNG. It just works. You get the resistance over here, you get the resistance over there. Things don't strip, things don't land, and suddenly it's like, yeah, your Asima goes off, you get an additional turn on your hacker, and hey, we suddenly have a great draft.
That's exactly how it should be, right, Say? Maybe, maybe not. But Summoners War European League is brewing with so much of it here right now. I mean, would you ever have said an Asima first pick normally would win in one of these types of matches? Probably not. But Aryes proving myself and Say wrong, the right there, getting himself 1 point on that leaderboard, splitting the points between them both, and it's going to do a lot on the leaderboard. Again, slowly chipping away right now. There's not so many weeks left. In total, we've got 6 weeks of this kind of competition, and we're already into the 3rd, so halfway through right now for the guys to really dictate where they're going to end up for that playoff situation right there. What do you think Ismoo's going to take forward, though, going into his next matches later today? I mean, kind of got a little bit RNG'd, maybe not.
Yeah, maybe a bit of RNG.Maybe also the playstyle of more single target focus just did not really work out. And maybe even if the Intermission is gone, still kind of revert back to a Gianna, which you can still do all of the AoE style that you normally do with that unit, especially if you ban the Heigang already. If Heigang is banned, it's pretty much a free Gianna pick for any Gianna owner. So maybe you should have went back to that unit right there rather than the Layla towards the end or another unit.
Yeah, let's find out. Looking forward into our next matches, though, right now. We're going to be having Malignant versus SmokeZzz. Again, both players having a very mixed bag of results, probably in the worst kind of bag of results, in all honesty, as well, for both of these players. I mean, they've got a lot to kind of prove to get up this leaderboard right now, Say. We didn't get to it in that first one, but you wouldn't have won either way because the points were split. But who are you favouring going into this one?
Well, SmokeZzz is currently sitting at the 6th position, where Malignant is on a shared final position in the leaderboards right now. I think Malignant has to pick up a lot of points. However, I did see him play on the leaderboards, and the man is not really having a good week with dropping about 130 points. So let's see if that transfer over into this match. And that makes it very hard for me to predict who's gonna win this one.
There we go. I hope you're wearing a mask between the fire and the smokes. This match is a literal health hazard. Let's find out who's going to take those points. Pre-ban's already coming in there, say Jaeger and a Berghild as well. They were very dominant last week in terms of the picks.
This is also kind of funny how Summoners War changed from meta to meta, because if you were pre-banning those, like let's say a month ago, everyone would say it's like you're inting. This is the dumbest ban you could make. But now again, meta shifted a little bit. Berghild wasn't even buffed back into meta. Jaeger, very meta due to the buff. And there we have the first few units being locked in.
Yeah, there we go, straight away with those Drakan Lords as well. Yon Hong following up for Malignant right here. It was something he was using a lot in that previous week, but it wasn't coming to great effect. Partnering up though with a Gianna. If you've got those LDs, you want to use them.
Yeah, let's see what Smokes can counter that. Is he gonna be looking for a Heigang as his secondary strip? Contesting this with an Asher might make your draft pretty difficult towards the end of the draft. And Malignant has a lot of LDs to also counter those typical styles. But then again, I think Smokes is also one of the heaviest LD users out there from this tournament. So let's see if he's gonna go for those. No, we're actually gonna go normal elementals with a Megumi.
Yeah, Megumi coming in, trying to get those stuns going out. It's going to be crucial to try and control both of those units that he sees at the moment on Malignant's side. Following up with that 4th and 5th pick right now, he's in a bit of a driving seat. Is he going to follow it up?
Yeah, I think a Zenisec or something that counters pushbacks might do some work. It also does counter some stuns that might come in. But let's see if he's actually going to be looking for that, or he's going to go for something different. We're going to go for... Ooh, we're bringing back the Douglas. It did work out. The moment that he drafted, the things did not work out. The moment he was slapping in the first pick Douglas, that was his only victory of the tournament thus far. So let's see if he can make it in.
I mean, what more do we want? Some Douglas action, some Douglas gameplay here in the Summoners War European League right now. 5th pick coming out for Smokes then right there. Josephine looking to potentially get locked in. Counter for the Gianna. Maybe he can get some damage through into a Douglas to stop it from soloing. Who are you liking for the bans though?
I think the Josephine is not gonna make it to the field, but on the other side, you kind of have to be scared of the Gianna, but then you have to fight that Douglas later on. And the only good counter to the Douglas you have on the field is that Megumi's skill 1 landing a attack break. But that's going to be a 50-50 check most likely, because Megumi's are not super high on attack.
Let's find out then if it is going to play out. We are not going to get any Douglas action right here. Josephine also banned out. So 33 speed leads for both Malignant and Smokes here in our Summoners War European League. Match 2. Who's going to get that point? They need it.
We're going to have the first turn towards this Yan Hong, and therefore towards the Gianna. And that is a combination you always like to see. Gianna, can you land everything today? Does land everything. Takes the additional turn, but on the one unit that already had a bomb.
Yeah, and look, you can try and get rid of that Fire Megumi right there. Sending in the skill 2 even. Wasn't quite enough, but maybe finish off the job.
Yep, finishing off the job right there. And I don't think you have enough bar to overtake right now. However, you used all of your skills and you took out the one target that actually doesn't provide that much to the field. The Dragon Warriors, the Asher, that is where the real damage and the powerhouse come from. There is, fortunately for Malignant, a cleansing on this Solvark, but let's see if that's gonna do enough. He's actually starting off with not giving any bar to this Ragdoll.
Yeah, let's find out here. Solvark coming in right there then with that skill, getting the silences around as well on some crucial units.
Well, crucial units, but not the one target you want the most, because the moment you land a silence on the Vanessa, Vanessa cannot go for passive, but we have a double resistance coming in. If you were to kill right now, it doesn't do anything. If the Vanessa had a silence, then you would have actually permanently taken out the unit until the revive was actually activated right now. So in this case, you do give an attack buff, and the attack buff, I think there is a skill 2 available on this unit right now. Ooh, not just yet.
Let's find out. Gianna coming back in and skill 1, getting rid of that Solvark very soon right here. But Eresion coming in. Wow, doing a big play.
Doing good damage right there. Can land another defense break. Does land the defense break right now. Gianna not in a favorable position. Plus additional turn. Increase the cooldown. Once again, defense break missing right there. But can you take this down? Speed buff, massacre, or full death break. It takes it down.
It does right here. You don't get a defense break either there from the Vanessa. But Vanessa, if you can get round again, could look for a revive. But it might revive a Ragdoll if you can die.
Yeah, well, the thing is, if you hit the Bractal right now, I think it's a little bit too dangerous. I think the choice for going for skill 2 just for some protection right there is a great choice. You can also go for heal blocks right here. And the question is, did Smokes count the turns of this Vanessa? Actually, armor breaks everything, takes the additional turn. And yeah, that's simply taken out. Malignant knows it, and his Ashes just simply taking out every unit one by one.
Wow, Smokes popping off then in this first match for him today against Malignant. Malignant, like we said before, really needs to start turning things around. Say, only 1 point, and he hasn't added to his tally there.
Yep, so Smokes taking that first point, but in the end, we did have the first kill on the side of Malignant towards Smokes, taking out that Megumi, but I mentioned it right away. That is not the most crucial target, and he's actually gonna be banning out a unit that I think no one is ever gonna be using, and that is a Linda.
This, to me, signals like there could be some Douglas gameplay coming out, say, but let's find out what Malignant is bringing forward into this one right here. Smokes with that first pick. Is he going to continue with that Eretion? Yes.
Yes, back to the Aryes on the side of Malignant, back to that Vanessa. Do we still go back to a Gianna? Because you're losing your Yan Hong in this case. So without the Yan Hong, a Gianna that early is mostly not that great because you have more issues against Hey Gang. So let's see what he favors. He's gonna go for a Zhongxiao Lao. Interesting combo right there because that unit likes to have some AoE strips before him.
Definitely does, but right here, Smoke's kind of going back to the same similar draft that he had in that last one that proved very beneficial. Malignant locking in 2 dark units to try and answer there, but still not a strip.
Yeah, no strip. I think he's kind of trying the route where he's just gonna wait out the turn 1 of the enemy, and then after the turn 1 of the enemy, try to take over, which is exactly what Smokes actually did in the previous match. It might work out, but let's see if he can lock in some good damage right there. We also have the Dark Zenitsu, also as the Quillian Slasher Dark on the side of Smokes right now. It's one of the highest win rate units in the current meta.
Yeah, and facing off there against an old previous high win rate with Han coming out as well to support all of those dark units. Some more damage coming out, right? But who are you looking to ban?
I think you have to be banning one of the 2 units that cannot be stunned on the side of Smokes. But on the other side, it's kind of hard to say because there is some value to all of the units, but it's very single target focus. So let's see what's gonna happen in this one. I favor Smokes in this one.
Let's see. Speed leads for both Malignant and Smokes right here. Can he look to get a point on that leaderboard right now? Eretion.
Russian. Actually, unfortunately, Russian is taking the first turn. This would be a kind of style where I would almost say it's better to take that second turn. Because right now, any of the skills you do don't really add too much. There is actually a good turn rotation. And once again, Vanessa's not landing any defense breaks. Malignant is not liking his Vanessa right now. That is going to be for sure.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the Dark Zenitsu can come in now, gets that skill 2, gets some stuns straight into that next turn as well. Say, can you get rid of a unit? Oh!
Ooh, almost taking it out right away, but we have to pay her to survive a little bit of that. Also, a lot of provokes did land. Damage from that Han, not too much just yet. Skill 2 is also not going to have that much value, except that you can have some pushbacks on those units. But then again, you're fighting a Jaeger. You have 2 threat states right now, so multiple threats makes it where you can still choose your hits, and we're taking out the Solvark first.
We are taking him out right here, so he's got a unit down against him right now, but that threat state is going to be very annoying, only if it revenges though.
Only if it revenge, and also there was an increase on cooldown on that Jaeger, so it's not gonna have its justice up just yet. Skill 2 coming in. Can the Jaeger cut because of that? Not just yet, but we're doing some more damage on that additional turn. However, damage is what Han really likes. Can we take out the Quillian Slasher? We probably can.
Yep, getting rid of one of the units right there. You've got that second skill, gets the stun on the Eretion as well. But Jaeger versus the world, say?
Yeah, Jaeger versus the world. Definitely something we would have not seen in a previous patch, but in the current patch, it is very possible. But getting that death break in finally is not gonna help you. It's also simply taking so much damage. Ooh, did not get it over there, but Han, how much damage? Not enough damage, but also no counter, and we're gonna have a point on the board for Malignant over here, because Han is gonna take out both of those units.
Damn, there we go. One apiece right there, then say Malignant versus Smokes coming.
I think Sam just glitched out over there. That's a nice frame to glitch out on. Sometimes it happens, but that's where we have point on the board for both of the players. And Sam, I think you're back.
Yeah, I think I'm back. I don't know. I think I lagged out when I was saying something right there, but let's hope for the best. And hopefully I wasn't in too much of a weird position, but maybe I could have been. So there we go. That's what happens when... Well, maybe I shouldn't say that. That's what happens when Malignant wins a point. It happens to the best of us right there. But luckily for him, getting some more points.
And I think it happened again. I think now you got your eyes closed. It's a little bit of a different kind of frame, but it is, well, yeah, that's just happened when Malignant got a point apparently. I think we're soon going to go into the next match, which is going to be Slappy against TitoGoflette. So also for both of the players, well, now I have to just talk by myself, which is very doable. But then again, it's a little bit different. And now he's gone. He's like, poof. That's what happened right there. But yeah, I think the show must go on, so I just do it by myself. It happens. It happens to the best of us. And I'm pretty sure Sam will join us. He's working on everything right now to get back on the screen as fast as possible. But until that time, we're just going to be talking about previous matches, next matches. I did actually say I was expecting what's called SmokeZzz to have a better matchup in that one. But in the end, the damage from the Han was able to just cycle too much, take out individual targets pretty fast. And with that, it actually still did work out. Plus the finesse this time around did land the armor break when it was needed on the Jaeger, simply taking out the Jaeger when there was not too much protection on the side of SmokeZzz. This is what the leaderboard is going to be standing up right now. Are we going to go for 1-1 cross board all the way down? It is an option. Next match is going to be Slappy against TitoGoflette. If we're looking at current leaderboards, Slappy and TitoGoflette are actually both on the same shared fourth position. They both have 2 wins. They both have 2 losses. They could go for a 1-1 once again, which is definitely an option. So that would mean that we go 1-1 all the way down. It is one of those things that might happen over here. It would be a first one, though. We haven't seen too many 1-1s going all the way in. If we're looking at play styles, yes, you are here. You are back.
Nice. Don't worry, guys. I managed to go and get some milk. We're all ready for the rest of these matches. Coffee was just brewing a little bit too hard right there, say. But Slappy versus TitoGoflette, did I miss out on who your prediction is?
No, but actually both of them are shared on a 4th position right now. Both of them have a 2-win, 2-loss record, and everyone is playing 1-1 so far. So I'm gonna guess 1-1. We're gonna all the way 1-1 today.
Damn, sitting on the fence. I like to see it, say. That's where you kind of always want to be in the prediction side. But meatballs and waffles again for dinner? Somebody should slap the cook. Let's find out who's going to win between Slappy and TitoGoflette here. Like you said, say, drawing on points, very close at the moment in our regular season of the Summoners War European League. Pre-ban's already coming in. We've seen that light Hwarang and the Gianna as well.
Yeah, actually both of the players have Gianna, so it could be the battle of the Gianna where as long as you don't have first pick, you're gonna be banning that unit. If you do have first pick, you ban something else. I have seen Tito play a lot with that light Hwarang, also pairing it up with the Gandalf, with the same, and with a lot of units, but actually the lock-in of the first 4 units come in super fast.
Yeah, dude, these guys are ready to play right here. They know what they've been practicing all week on that leaderboard as well. Sons on Lao, Josephine coming out against the Fire Megumi and that Eshe, 3rd and 4th pick going for Tito.
Yeah, let's see how we're gonna be countering the Josephine on the field already. There's a lot of options you could go for. Seimei is definitely one of the options that Tito would like to go for, but you have to add in some damage, and Misty is where damage comes in. It's not the greatest against provokes, but could do a lot of work against those stun units on the enemy side. Same for Burguild. A lot of anti-stuns right there.
Yeah, a lot of anti-stuns quickly responded though from Slappy, bringing that Annabelle, getting some defense breaks, slows in her kit, as well as the Vendhan.
Yeah, that is a Venton we haven't seen all too much. That unit also went from a 50% pick rate to like a 5% pick rate. He is not played that much, but still, he has the same amount of damage. It's just the debuffs that are a lot worse. However, Seimei on the other side of the field, we don't want to see when you have that many debuffs.
No, you do not want to battle through that speed lead coming in then against each other. Slappy and TitoGoflette taking things out in our match 3, set 1 of the Summoners War European League, and Eshe is going.
She is going, but it's also one of those boosts right now. It's like, what are you actually boosting for? Can you get a defense break and then maybe from the Misty speed damage that hasn't been stacked that much yet, can you take out a Phantom from this position? Or Dark Monkey? And we're gonna go for the inconsistent hits from this Burguild, not stunning anything just yet.
No, you can't right here, and maybe it's not even worth the skill 2. He's going for it anyway to get the stun in, but Josephine does mean she can cut, get a little provoke popping away.
Yeah, getting the provoking is definitely what you want to be looking for. I was kind of expecting him to try to go for a defense break and maybe just take out this Phantom right away, because most Phantoms aren't super high on the HP, but slowly chipping it away thus far.
Chipping away is the game right here. We've got Sons on Lao coming in next, say, as well. This is going to be huge if he can get everything landing.
Well, you can get everything landing, but the big issue is 2 units cannot be stunned. Additional turns, Zhongxian Lao is on good damage there as well. And this Phantom so far has not really been participating, and it's just Misty on its horse taking over this match.
Yeah, I think he's been distracting long enough right now, though. Josephine can look to confirm that kill. 3 versus 3, get some heal blocks in.
That heal block is very crucial on the Misty. This is actually the timing you want to start focusing on the Misty, because taking out the Misty is one of the harder units, but he's actually spreading the damage throughout everything right now. I think he should have focused more on one target rather than spreading out the damage this much. But so far, Slappy is still in a driving seat, because everything on the defense break is a nice move.
It is, but big damage is coming in right there. Right now, Berghild looking to get in as well. Gets a little bit more chipped through, say.
Ooh, that little bit of chip might actually take out your monkey pretty soon. Can you take out this unit? Death break on the first hit, but did not simply take it out. And therefore, this Misty is gonna live a little bit longer. We're gonna probably say goodbye to this monkey right now. Actually has 2 chances to do it. You could go for a defense break on this hit. Is smartly actually choosing for that. It's gonna add a lot of damage to that unit. Half HP right there. You can almost choose right now which one of the 2 you would take out. Taking out that monkey first.
Yep, and now for Josephine, needs to clean up. Maybe going into that Berghild, gets that kill right here. 2v2, but it's still all.
Oh, this is a difficult one, especially since the Massacre is reset. Massacre simply taking out things. If you land a defense break right now, that is absolutely game. Well, regardless of anything, still absolutely game. Taking too long to take out your enemy units, trying to spread the damage a little bit too much, bite him in the bottom.
There you go. TitoGoflette then taking that first point against Slappy right here in the Summoners War European League. Again, we're seeing it say Berghild being picked, but not coming to great fruition really in this Summoners War European League.
Well, in this case, the Berghild,
she did
in
win,
the
though.
first,
That's true.
Yeah, she did win, but it's one of those units you cannot expect it to land all the time, and therefore also normally we used to see, or way back we used to see Berghild on a speed contesting kind of set. This time around we're seeing it on a violent set, and we saw that with the first hit defense break on the Drake Warrior. Death broke, took another hit on that skill 1, then took the additional turn, 2 more hits of 2.5Ks, and then you're half HP on a certain unit already, which it has one of those values that it can always do something in every turn, but sometimes not. But therefore, it is banned out in this matchup.
Banned out straight away. Eresion coming in then for that first pick, getting that 33 lead. Slappy responding with a strong Yonhong and a Gianna right there. Probably will need to back it up with a speed lead later on.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be needing speed leads against this 115 base on that Asher with the speed buff, with the attack bar gain. Is he going to be pairing that up with a Solvark? No, we're actually going to be pairing that up with an Okeanos. That mostly is an opener to go for a Josephine plus a Gandalf kind of style, but Slappy is actually going to go full on the speed with double speed lead.
Yeah, bringing the double speed lead. Then we've got, wow, bringing it in, the Light Hwaring then, the scary unit, followed up with that Fire Zenitsu as well.
Yeah, Light Wiring is also nice to have on the field when the Sierra is already banned. Otherwise, Slappy could have had a very good Sierra pick over here. But now taking out the Wiring is going to be difficult. He can definitely force himself to take the first turn. But after that first turn, can you actually guarantee taking out units? And we're actually once again going back to that Phantom that did not really participate in a previous match.
No, it didn't really do too much, but Slappy must have some decent rune sets on it there to keep bringing it through. It doesn't manage to get through there, though, in the ban phase. Esche and that Venthang going down. We've got 33 speed leads from both Oliver and Eresion going into our match 3, set 2 between TitoGoflette and Slappy right here, say. I mean, you really want to get those points.
Yeah, let's see. Ooh, we're gonna be taking that first turn on that Yonhong. There is no immunity on the side of this Inosuke, which is also that unit. However, it does have a passive similar to a Nyx where it's harder to land those debuffs. In this case, it was actually just a resistance checks that made it where the unit doesn't have a bomb.
Oh, and right here, you can look to try and pop some stuns. Oliver's going to be able to clean up as well, get some cool times going in through.
Yeah, you're definitely going to be needing the cool time. Like, maybe you cannot land the debuffs, but you still want to go for this unit on the left. Actually gets the cool time and gets the bar itself as well. So therefore can cycle and take more bar from other units.
Yep, does resist it there against that Eresion right now, but you're getting rid of that Okeanos, taking away a lot of damage on the side of TitoGoflette, but need to start cycling if you're him.
Yeah, let's see what this Inosuke can do. It has an inconsistent rate on that stun on the skill 1, but it can still stun. But you're fighting 2 units that are hard to take out. You need Gianna for the bombs to take out countable damage on both of these units. But actually, where it looks to be difficult to land things, Oliver's just landing everything and his wrong element.
He is managing to do a lot right here. But like you said, if this Gianna goes down, it might be really tough for Slappy. Managing to land that bomb as well, and a Yonghong's going to follow up soon.
Yep, where we're going to be placing this. Once again, crit animation, but what's resistant in this time? This Oliver is looking at some Elemental King passive right there, but on the other side, we take that additional turn on this Inosuke, and then it's just simply healing a lot. And those heals you do not want to see if you're Slappy right now.
No, you definitely don't. I mean, you can't really looking to use that skill 3, skill 2, get some more damage coming away right now. Oh, goes for it for Oliver.
Yeah, going for the attack bar push-up is expecting that maybe he's not going to take another turn afterwards. Oliver is doing God's work right now. Can you absorb the full attack bar from this Hwoarang? Is not going to try that. Skill 2, Blade Fang. How much damage is simply taking out the Inosuke? This might be a chance. It's all on the question. How much damage is this bomb from this Gianna that landed earlier gonna do? Ooh, the additional turn, half HP. That's still a long uphill battle to take it out, but at least there's no healing on this Hwoarang.
Yep, no healing coming through and nothing to support it on the side of TitoGoflette. But if you are Slappy, still dangerous right here.
Yeah, it's definitely dangerous. We've seen Hwoarang. If Hwoarang takes a lot of additional turns, you could still take out things. However, a Yonhong is a pretty strong unit against the Hwoarang as well, because you simply just do so much damage with that Blade Fang skill 2, and we're one turn away from that. Still critting, even though it's a skill 1.
Yeah, still managing to clear it through right there. Like Hwoarang trying to put in some work right here though. Can maybe confirm the kill on that. Wow, it went out of my head.
Yeah, we have the Megumi take it out, but then again, we also have the Yonhong taking it out. And we actually, I am correct, we're going one apiece, and we're gonna full on one apiece the whole day, it seems.
Damn, I mean, usually you're wherever you're putting your bet, it usually doesn't come through. But right now, sitting on the fence is pretty nice position to be in, eh? I mean, Slappy and TitoGoflette sharing those points right there, taking one of the points onto that leaderboard, which they so desperately need right now to make sure they're high enough in there for the playoffs coming through. But different kind of play style. I mean, for these guys, let's see how they figure out into our next lot of matches, and we'll just have it up on the screen very soon. The confirmation that we've had another draw. Everyone loves the ones today.
Yeah, everyone is sitting on the fence, everyone going for these draws, but there's still a lot more matches to go, and let's see if we're going to pick up some more draws, or if people are going to be picking up some of those W's right here, because in the end, if everyone gets 1 point, it's pretty much nothing happened in the day. The leaderboard will look exactly the same as before as it will be after.
Yeah, it definitely will. I mean, that's how maths works, and Say's got it locked and loaded for everybody right here. Next match coming up, LastDeadlySin versus Pafix as well. Say again, seeing these players, they've been around now from those previous weeks, what type of play style they're going to do. I mean, Pafix also know he's got that Water Gandalf. We're speaking about it in your podcast as well. Maybe it's now the time to start using it a little bit more.
Yeah, it could be one of those units he starts utilizing a little bit more, but on the leaderboard, he's doing a little bit of both. He's still going for Eresion, he's still going for Asher, but then if the enemy goes for stuns, such as the Megumi and the Shio, he likes to lock in the combinations, and that is the strong thing, the combination of a Josephine plus a Water Gandalf. If you use one of the two, it's not that strong, but if you use both, it's very strong. On the other side, LastDeadlySin is one of those players that likes to use Nyx, and then Nyx with a lot of kind of style of passives, debuffs. The man does not like to lock in a skill 3. So let's see if he's going to draft that over here as well.
Yeah, it's all to play for right here. Remember, we've still got plenty of matches coming your way today and over the next few weeks as well, till we get to our playoffs on that 4th of April right here. A lot of players, a lot of matches, and we're here for it. We don't want to see 1-alls. We want to see some people cooking, get some big points going out there as well. And LastDeadlySin and Pafix are the next ones up for us to be able to see what they are going to be getting on right here. I mean, big action. 6 players have played so far. Split all of those points. Malignant getting one of those points, getting really crucial points right there. But even for the other guys, the mid-table is starting to slowly creep up.
Yep, starting to creep up, but as I mentioned before, if everyone is taking 1 point, then your oppositions are also taking 1 point. So in the end, nothing really happens. You really have to take 2 points, or you would like to see other people lose, because if everyone goes up 1 point every time, the amount of points that you need towards the end is very high. But if everyone is losing to the top end, then the middle ground has more freedom if they take the draws themselves. So it's going to be interesting to see if people maybe take a little bit more risks because of that to get the double win in there, or people are still going to be just playing as they normally play.
Let's find out. I mean, maybe whilst we've got this little time at the moment as well. Oh, actually, we are going to be going straight into this matchup as well. Players are now ready, and we're going to be seeing LastDeadlySin versus Pafix. Did it actually push you for what you think is going to happen in this one, say? Are we seeing another draw?
We're going to see another draw. I'm going to sit on the draw fence the whole day.
Damn. This is not what the people want. They want to see you kind of give the commentators curse the whole time, say. If you're saying it's going to be a draw, we can't curse anyone.
Yeah, that's very true. That's definitely true. Well, in that case, it's still a draw.
Oh, damn. God, I thought I'd get it out of you then, but it didn't quite manage to happen. LastDeadlySin versus Pafix in our day 3 match number 4. LastDeadlySin is looking to fix his record, but Pafix is the one holding the toolkit today. Let's find out if he's got the correct tools to destroy his opponent. Pafix and LastDeadlySin pre-bans coming right now. Say, who are you expecting? Monkeys.
Ooh, double monkeys, but also the double monkeys that not the most common picks. Well, actually, Xingzi is right now one of the most common picks out there. Zhongxialao is the unit that Pafix picked up just before SWC World Finals in Paris last year. Could not really utilize it at that moment, but is utilizing it very well in the current state. And there you have it, Gandalf picked up very early.
Yeah, what Gandalf coming out then early on the side of Pafix. Let's see if you can put him to good use right here. LastDeadlySin, we've seen units that also bring a lot of debuffs right there. So the Anavel with that 3-turn defense break suddenly becomes a 4-turn. Are these the units he's going to lock in right now in 2nd and 3rd?
It is an option, but there's already a cleanser on the enemy side. If you lock in more cleansers on top of that, it might be pretty bad. But yeah, we're actually gonna go on full on everything around the Nyx. We're gonna give units that have all kinds of good debuffs with silence, dots, attack bar gain on pretty much a lot of those. Strong draft from LastDeadlySin, but let's see if Pafix does have an answer.
Yeah, surely Pafix must have been expecting this. He's seen those matches from the previous week. How is he going to look to kind of pivot through in that 3rd and 4th pick right now? Crucial in the drafting phase as well, because you're kind of showing all of your hands at once with your opponent still having 2 picks. Nabara coming out then, and that Asher as well. So trying to get some more healing and deal with those debuffs.
Ooh, that is a guaranteed ban right there, the Dark Gojo. Also known as Werner these days. But that is definitely a unit you want to be banning out if you're locking in that many passives on the side of Pafix. That is a tongue twister right there by itself, but let's see what he has for a 5th pick, because this is one of those things Pafix could lock in a Sonya on the 5th. If Pafix locks in a Sonya on the 5th, yeah, this is definitely an opener for a Sonya on the 5th, because Sonya would take out Cadiz, would probably take out the Gojo, could potentially half HP any of the other units. So a Sonya would be a must ban, but the Cadiz actually feels pretty strong in this draft. No, we're actually going to go for more monkey business in that final pick.
Yeah, Shiho coming out right there. So kind of similar-ish. Not going to get a full kill necessarily like Sonya, but can get some stuns in, prevent throughout who you are liking to ban, say.
I think you have to respect that Dark Gojo, because it's one of those units, if it doesn't land, it's not that great. But if it does land, it's really deadly. And we're also respecting the last pick on the side of Pafix.
There we go. So we are likely to have a speed lead coming in from Pafix on his side. A resistance lead, though, coming in on the side of LastDeadlySin. It's our Summoners War European League match 4. Between LastDeadlySin and Pafix, who's going to rise up that leaderboard?
First turn is going to go to the Intermission. It's also fast followed up by that Gandalf, getting a stun right away. But also this, we have this Cadiz, and normally right now you cannot steal any attack bar that is not there. But Cadiz has a buff where the moment he's hitting anything without attack bar, he gains attack bar regardless.
You can see right here, Asher going in then with that skill 3, trying to get the defense break. Can he even look to take out a Cadiz?
Ooh, that was a very early defense break, and that is just one of those things. If we would be streaming right now by ourselves, we would be saying, Nyx is fake. That unit did absolutely nothing.
Exactly, it didn't there right now. But I mean, it's going to be an uphill battle. He's lost a unit early right here. You can look to try and get something, but you're going to get the reflect damage as well.
Reflect damage coming in. Defense breaks are seated on most of the units, but also this Gandalf, it's just like, it just happens. Like at some point I was looking up, does this unit have a built-in additional turn? But apparently it's not, but he's just still doing it.
Yeah, taking all of these turns right now. I mean, you are going to be able to heal up with an Anavel coming in soon as well. But these 3 units are going to have to do a lot of work.
Yeah, they have to do a lot of work, and you still have to be scared of that Nobara, because every time you land anything, the Nobara could be taking on a lot of damage towards the enemy team.
Definitely can right here, and I mean, that's why you can't really aim for right now. You can look to get the Eretion chipping away as well, but an Asher additional turn could be big.
Ooh, we did get a normal resistance on some of these units, so in the end, the skill one of this is most likely not gonna land a debuff, so anything that could land a debuff on this Nobara was resisted, and we're taking some good damage from this unit right there, which is the Biogon Wind.
Yeah, managing to get some Nobara again coming through right now. You've got that skill 3 from the Asher on a defense break already, say as well.
Yeah, that is some insane damage right there. That's once again showing the rune quality of Pavix, just doing an insane amount of damage. And Nyx, unfortunately, did not really was able to participate in this fight simply because of a Gandalf.
Yeah, I mean, Gandalf there coming in crucial. We've seen him all over the leaderboard at the moment. His win rates going through. But I mean, you're kind of locked in if you're LastDeadlySin, right? Say if you've already picked Nyx in that first position, you kind of have to back it up and keep going.
Yeah, and that is the dangerous thing about, like, if you do this on the leaderboards, your enemy maybe is not really prepared for a Nyx or what follows up to a Nyx. When you're playing these tournaments, everyone is simply just checking what everyone is doing, and you know the kind of style that your enemy would go for. And normally a Gandalf that early isn't that strong, but in the case of playing against LastDeadlySin, you know what's going to be following up with an Anivал and these kind of units, and then the Gandalf suddenly becomes very strong in an early pick.
Definitely does. We're seeing the pre-bans coming in then. Cadiz and that Asher is being taken out right there. Pavix with that first pick going in for the Xingje instead.
Xingje is what we're choosing, so let's see what we have. We still go back to the comfortable units on the side of LastDeadlySin, locking in a Nyx and locking in a Anivал.
Yep, second and third pick then coming in for Pavix right here. Is he going to try and do a similar kind of playstyle? He can't have that Asher already in those picks right here, but what is he got cooking? Is Gandalf still a play?
Gandalf is a play. There's not enough stuns on the enemy side to pair it up with the Josephine, and therefore we're going to go for resets on the side of a segment. It is an interesting unit as well. It is good for the reset against the NFL, but resetting a Nyx mostly doesn't do that much because you want to reset units that have a skill 3. But whereas LastDeadlySin is mostly playing, it's more around passive units. No, we're actually going to be locking in full units that have skill 3s that could be reset by that segment.
Yeah, I'm not scared of your segment. I'm bringing in these units. We've got a Wusa, we've got that Werner back out on the field right here. Fourth and fifth pick coming in for Pavix right there. If he wants to deal with those debuffs as well, there's always the Wind Nabara in case he needs it.
Ooh, going back to a Zeratul. Once again, I was kind of thinking about a Sonya, but Josephine, very strong pick at the end as well, is also going to be making that provoke into 3 turns if you landed on no debuffs and 2 turns if you landed on a debuff. So strong pick at the end, but for the bans, Zeratul is still a unit you have to be careful with.
Yeah, you have to be careful with him. Once he gets cycling and he's got that immunity up, how much damage he can pivot through. But say we're taking out at least some of the shields, then within this drafting phase right there, Water Gandalf and the Josephine being taken away. LastDeadlySin with a HP lead against the speed lead of Pavix in our Summoners War European League. Day 3, match 4, set 2 between LastDeadlySin and Pavix.
Yeah, let's see where we're gonna land the skills. Ooh, also, we kind of would have rather seen the other way. Or no, actually, the Josephine is gone, so it doesn't really matter. Can we get the stun? We do get the stun on the Nyx right there. Is this... You have to send this on the Wusa, I would say, but is that the right choice right now with stunning the Nyx?
All right, he's sending it into the Wusa. Does get it as well right there, so it means Zeratul can start getting online, say.
Ooh, also throwing a skill 1 at a unit when the monkey can stun you after is maybe not the right choice. Also, once again, Nyx is not really participating. It actually gave a little bit of bar gain, and therefore we have this Gojo taking a turn at a uncomfortable moment. Once again, taking turns at uncomfortable moments right there.
Yep, doesn't get a defense break coming in. You've got Monkey following around, get some control, 3 big stuns.
Those are some huge stuns, and Anival's praying for that additional turn right now, but the additional turn goes to this Wusa that does sleep wrong element. That is impressive right there.
Definitely is impressive, but Zeratul can look to clean up right here. If not yet, he can again.
Yeah, coming in again. Is that going to be enough damage, or do you simply take it out? We simply do take it out. We have the skill 3 available right now, but if you send it, you might simply wake up something because you're looking at a glancing. Was still able to land 2, but 2 is not good enough because we have the alter ego smacking in from this monkey.
Yeah, coming in right there. Wusa 1 turn away right now from those shields as well, and Monkey can just add a bit more damage. I think against Zeratul, how strong is he?
Yeah, Zeratul is definitely strong. He did lose a little bit of his bruiser potential by losing some of its healing. But even without that healing, he is still a menace to deal with because he simply deals so much damage. There's so many buff potentials on the whole battlefield right now, and Zeratul strips every single turn.
Damn, Perfect's getting the first win of anyone today right there with a 2-0 then against LastDeadlySin. He's going to be climbing up that leaderboard if everyone else is just splitting and sharing their points at the moment. So again, I think Perfect's bringing in those units that we know have been working consistently in the Summoners War European League. That Water Gandalf, that Zeratu as well. Just really strong gameplay. And you can see why he was in the World Finals from the SWC last year, right?
Yeah, 100% right there. And it's also one of those really strong pairs because the moment you go for Zeratu, you really want to have some units to give him the protection because he lost a little bit of the self-protection by that healing when he's stunned. But also when he takes the S2, he also doesn't have healing right there. So he's losing about 1/3 of his healing. If you have something that pairs him up with the healing potentially that has to be banned out, he gets a lot more freedom to get the damage in. And therefore we see a 2-0 victory towards Perfect.
Damn, 4 matches through right there then, and we've still got 7 more matches to go from today's action as well, with our match of the day coming after our next little break as well. So, I mean, we've started a tradition that we probably get a lot of heat for on this one. Maybe, how about we do a truce? On the first break of today will be nice. The second one, we can have an actual conversation, you know, and then I'll have to listen to you again through the whole of that break. And maybe my internet might accidentally go down again during that part. We don't know. We don't know yet, right, how that's going to be.
It's like, that is the break for the
Exactly. Hopefully I don't pause in a weird position like I probably did earlier as well. But remember, folks, don't go anywhere. We've still got a total of 7 matches to go in our Summoners War European League, day number 3. All of the action. For all of you in chat as well, yes, Obabo hasn't played yet. He is going to be playing, and it's the first match after the break. So set a 5-minute retirement, and we'll see you very soon on that one after our lovely break. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Summoners War European League 2026. We are back after our first break and those first 4 matches that we've seen today. But coming in very hot, is going to be our match of the day. Obabo versus Raxxaz. What a way to kick things off for the rest of the matches to come. I mean, these guys, one's at the top, one's been in a final of an SWC before as well. So we've got the creme de la creme coming up in this next match right here. And how excited are you to see these guys play it out on this stage?
Yeah, very excited to see, because if there's someone to take off the first point from Obabo, it's got to be Raxxaz. Both of these players are sitting very high on the leaderboard right now, with Obabo sitting at a number 6 and Raxxaz sitting at number 12. So both of those players actually came from the previous days that they played on a very high winning streak, while Obabo has been sitting on a very high winning streak in this league as well. Raxxaz still has a lot of points to climb, so let's see what the two gentlemen can bring to the table today.
Let's find out. And if you've missed it, where were you for those previous hour? We're here at 8 o'clock every single Wednesday, bringing you all of this wonderful action. We had 4 matches already, a lot of draws popping up so far, so splitting those points in our best of 2 situation to get as many points for that leaderboard right there. But like I said before, 7 more matches to go. Obabo versus Raxxaz is going to be our first one right here. Let us know in chat who you think is going to be taking the winning points home in this one right now, and say, is this another situation where that fence is going to be a nice new seat on it?
I think so. It's also always hard to say with Obabo, especially since he hasn't played for a few days. Where's that Sonya set gonna be? Is it gonna be on the Etna, or is it going to be on the Sonya? And we have seen it with previous matches where we saw people pre-ban the Sonya, and the Sonya wasn't even draftable because the Etna had the Sonya set. But I've also seen him play where he actually played both. So he has the rune depth to make both of them work. But what does Raxxaz bring to the table to counter all of those speed contesting units?
Let's find out. The Swedish Super Trooper is looking pretty on top. Or will a new monkey dancing queen come along for this one? It's Obabo versus Raxxaz, and those pre-bans have come out, say, Esche and the Etna. But is it the real Etna?
Yeah, that is the big question right now. Raxxaz knowing is going to be for... Ooh, I kind of expected him to go for the Intermission because, well, Obabo is actually, funny enough, one of those players that doesn't use the Draken Warrior that much himself. He's more playing on Double Monkey, he's playing on the Fireball, he's playing with these LDs, he's playing with the speed contesting units of the Water Monkey, of the Etna, and those kind of things. But I think Raxxaz is throwing him off quite of his game by banning one of his units and also stealing one of his comfortable units.
Going in with the mind games already from Raxxaz right there. Obabo locking in then that Jingje and the Wooser as well. But a response coming from Raxxaz, Megumi and that Berghild.
Yeah, Berghild being very strong. Also, we got to keep in mind, Raxxaz does have the option to go for a Jaeger or a Light Warring. Those units are very good into shields. So let's see what Obabo likes to go with the shields right now. He has a lot of stuns on the enemy side, so Josephine is definitely a target that you could be looking at. But we're actually going to go for Annabelle, and we're going to go for a Zenitsu on Dark.
Yeah, it's his trusted unit in this Summoners War European League. Been getting him a lot of points and wins on the table right here. Raxxaz, 4th and 5th pick. I know he loves a Beelzebub last pick as well.
It's also one of those options where you could go for strips because there's only, or you could go for immunity because there's not too many strips on your enemy side. So Obabo only has 1 strip, but it is strip pretty much focused by if you hit something wrong, you could get stripped. Otherwise, there's no strips going in there. So that Aragon might be very well placed right here.
Yeah, and he's partnered up with a Layla on the side of Raxxaz right there as well. 5th pick coming in from Obabo right here. A tough 5th pick.
Yeah, definitely a difficult one. I could see Obabo picking up more strips in the form of Zeratul. Ooh, we're still going to go back to the Sonya. So the Sonya is ruined in current state.
Yeah, it is ruined right here. Speed leads are scary in this situation. Sonya's still scary.
Yeah, the question is, like, if you ban enemy speed lead, but you're not fast enough, then the Sonya might still nearly take out a unit, especially a Berghild, which is mostly not on super high. But we're gonna leave the Sonya in, and we're gonna be banning out that immunity from the side of Raxxaz.
Speed lead for Raxxaz, accuracy lead coming in from the side of Obabo. It's our Summoners War European League match 5. Will Obabo go 100% still?
Yeah, let's see. Also, this Berghild is faster than that Sonya, and that is a violent Berghild, might I say. It does have the Awakening, but it is a very, very fast right there. Can we get some lands over here? We do get a crucial silence right there, but this skill too. Can you land it? That's still a lot of damage, even though your enemy does outspeed you.
Yeah, Yeah, so much damage. But Berg killed with that additional turn, getting the pushback as well. And I mean, Anavel's not looking good right here.
Anavel's not looking good. Skill 2, where can you land it? Is gonna go for a potential pushback. Yep, we're gonna go for the pushback. Not giving too many turns to this Zenitsu. If the Zenitsu doesn't take turns, the silence and the slow is still seated over there.
Oh, big there, using that second skill, getting the kill, and then those shields up, say.
Yeah, those shields were very crucial, especially doing both in one rotation right there. And this is also the moment to get rid of all of that immunity. Will take you quite some time.
Definitely will. Zenitsu right now can start putting in some chip damage through them right now. Are you good looking to try and get rid of that Layla first?
Yeah, going in for the Layla, we're going for the strips, but right now we do have this Megumi, but the Megumi doesn't have a clear target. You could go for the Sonya, but it's still a 50-50, or maybe a little bit less than a 50-50, because you are slower than the unit. Does go for it, does not connect with stripping the right debuff.
No, Layla does come in though. She's starting to get a little bit of ground, a little bit of working for her right here, getting that slow on the Sonya.
Yeah, slow on the Sonya is really crucial and really strong right there. We do have the skills available on this Zenitsu. And unfortunately, we do have this monkey moving right now, not gaining any attack bar. So this Zenitsu might take over the match from here.
Yeah, Zenitsu, what can you do for Obabo? Can you keep him 100%? 2 stuns is huge for it.
Yeah, 2 stuns. Most of the time, Obabo does like to run this unit on despair. So the chances of him stunning are very big. But we have a resistance on that stun right there on the Sonya. So Sonya will take a turn once she is full on attack bar.
She will, and right now he's debating which one to go for. Going in for that Layla, it's not going to be enough to take her out just yet, but he's hoping he can get another chance at it.
Oh, we're taking the additional turns on this Megumi right now. Megumi is really fighting for its life. Also, if you land the debuffs right now, you will be pushing up Layla. Layla has been doing a lot of work for Raxxaz, so it's still everyone's game, and we do get the stun right there.
Yeah, he finally gets that stun on the Layla right there. But it's still open an opportunity for Obabo right here, I would say.
Yep, also that skill 4 will just simply take out a unit and gain a lot of attack bar. And it's going to be enough attack bar where he might cycle into a skill 2 right now. Are you going to go for the attack break? Is going to try the attack break. Did not actually connect, but we have mountain power coming in with an initial turn on that Wusa going in for a sleep. Obabo is favored by the RNG in this match, with this Wusa taking all of the crucial additional turns.
Damn, Wusa popping off for him right there then, say. I mean, it's going to be huge if he can get back. But there, you've just allowed Sonya to get in, and Raxxaz knows Obabo keeps his 100% win record in the Summoners War European League, say. This is unheard of.
Yeah, it's definitely unheard of, but the performance of that Wusa right there, getting the kill from that skill 2 into a skill 3, Wish of Immortality, protection on the whole field was very crucial. But also towards the end, when Raxxaz was about to make a comeback, once again, we kill a unit and we just simply sleep and deny the turns of another unit, which is just so strong if your units work like that.
Definitely super strong. And I mean, now we've kind of seen the hand of Obabo as well, say, going into this next one. We know there's a Sonya ruined, and she did a lot of damage into that Berghild as well. So let's see how Raxxaz can deal with that as he wants to chip away at the armor of him. Pre-bans have come in, Eretion, and that Shiho as well.
Interesting pre-ban from Raxxaz, because I'm not sure if Raxxaz really has a speed contesting unit that much right now if he loses the Eretion, but still is gonna go for the combination of Asher, but then plus the Megumi, which is smart because against Obabo, if you give him fully on the first turn, you will be Sonya. So, and the Athna is also available right now, so the Megumi is already kind of covering the ground right there.
Yeah, but it feels awkward maybe to put in another wind unit in that pick as well right here, seeing what you're up against. Opting in for them for this Dark Zenitsu right here. Like we said, say, doing a lot of work, and back to that Firepole Phoenix again.
Yeah, back to the Firepole Phoenix. Also, a unit can do incredible much damage. Skill 2 having strong value on that Irresistible, and Skill 1 still having a Provoke. So all skills have value, but now we're adding in 2 units that cannot be stunned with the Berghild and the Jaeger. So let's see if Raxxaz can win this Bruiser fight. Fighting against potential slows.
Yeah, potential slows and also some defense breaks as well, popping around enough. We've seen him using that Firepole Phoenix very much like a Mo Long kind of style, say, getting that big damage in and then a little cleanup. This 5th pick right now, who are you leaning on?
Well, I think that the Sonya might be a little bit too much of a gamble. No, we're actually going to go for the real Mo Long. We're pairing up Mo Long with a, well, yeah, Mo Long with a Fire Mo Long. That's what we're looking at. The only difference is the Fire Mo Long also gives you attack bar on your whole team. And then we're going to go back for Raxxaz for his Beelzebub. Nope, we're actually not going to do that right off the field.
Yeah, instant bans coming in there, Annabelle and that Beelzebub. So we are going to have speed leads for both Obabo and Raxxaz right here in our Summoners War European League match of the day. Obabo versus Raxxaz. Again, can he keep that 100%?
Yeah, let's see what we can do in this case, because we do have the Asher boost, but the Asher boost, if we do not connect 2 stuns on this, we do actually connect our stun right here. We have to connect another stun. Do we connect it? We do connect our stuns right there. So that is definitely a very nice opener for Raxxaz in this moment.
Zenitsu looks to get some stuns coming in, at least on one of those units. Like you said, can't get the other ones, and say this is going to be an uphill battle for him here.
Yeah, this is going to be a really rough battle, because that armor break landing right there, Jaeger's gonna do more than enough damage, because there has been enough AoEs. I know the damage on these Jaegers, 34k, cleanly taking out this Zenitsu. And right now, it's all the battle for the Molongs, as we might call them.
The other brothers from another mother right here. Firepole Phoenix and that Molong for Obabo to keep that 100% win record, but Raxxaz with a crazy draft here, say.
Yeah, and that just shows the power of Jaeger. Can we take out Jaeger? He was aiming for damage on light. I was expecting to see that, because also Obabo knows exactly what he's facing against. Raxxaz drafts a lot of those light units, so 44k to the face of the Jaeger, taking it out clean. But he's so much on the back foot by already losing a unit this early that he might not have the potential to win this. But Monkey's still trying to make some work of it.
Yeah, Monkey is trying to make some work. You're going to get some more damage coming through and some stuns, but this Fire Megumi's been performing incredibly for Raxxaz.
Yeah, the Fire Megumi is doing miracle work right there. No defense break at that moment. Also, big question is, Firepole, how much damage can you do? If I'm not mistaken, Firepole does not get additional damage from damage on X element, so you have to go damage on additionals itself by HP. But this Firepole hasn't gotten off a single skill. Every time that it's close to a skill, Megumi says, no, you're stunned, you're once again stunned. We have all skills still available from this Paul. He can finally show what he can do, but is it going to be enough?
Yeah, 22k coming in right there, say, but this is the Fire Megumi show right here for Raxxaz. Drafted perfectly with those units that couldn't get stunned as well, say. And I mean, right there, it's going to be the end of the 100% win record. But remember, he is still top of our leaderboard. And Raxxaz finally taking a point off of Obabo in our Summoners War European League. Say, I mean, if there was one man who could do it, you said before it could be Raxxaz, and he did prove that in that second set right there.
Yeah, 100% right there. And it also once again shows that these players are very close to one another, because it definitely does show one additional turn in one way or one resistance in the other way. We had the armor break set up for the Megumi just before the Jaeger move with the second turn of that Megumi. And in the end, that is also a low activation check. But if it does land, Jaeger does do an insane amount of damage, cleanly taking out a unit. And then it's really on the back foot. I did like the drafting style of Obabo, though. It was very well placed with that more long damage on light, simply taking out that Jaeger very cleanly. But it just happened a little bit too late.
Yeah, it just happened a little bit too late, but there's plenty more matches where you can reclaim those points, and he's still going to be top of our leaderboard at the moment as well. Raxxaz clawing his way a little bit higher to get close enough for the high spots in our leaderboard for those playoffs as well. But there you go. That was the match of the day as well so far, but don't go anywhere. We've still got plenty of matches still to go with all of the other players, and to be honest, some of those matches might dictate way more in the leaderboard than that one did right there. Back to the day of draws, say. Do you like a good old draw?
Yeah, we definitely have a good old draw, but I'm also really looking forward to the match of guts against Scribble. Both of the players that got their name cut off because they just have a simple, way too long name. But also, these players have played each other once before, I think in a SWC first round, where I think Guts won 3-0 against Scribble.
Yeah, let's find out. It's for both of these players, Guts and Scribble. They've been around. If you don't know their lovely smiling faces, where have you been? They're always around on Twitch, streaming away. And I mean, some good days, maybe some bad days. Let's find out. But say, sitting on the fence again, or do you want to back your man?
No, let's sit on the fence. I'm comfortable over here.
I mean, you've got a very comfy seat. We've got the best seats in the house as well, because we're here for the Summoners War European League. Now, you can't draw a win without a Scribble, but you can't win at all if you don't have the guts. Let's find out who's got what it takes. Guts the Berserk versus Scribble Bibble. I'll call them by their real names right now, say.
I think Guts and Scribble also rolls off the tongue a little bit easier. Let's see what the two gentlemen are playing these days. Scribble is known to just completely switch up his whole box and completely play something different from time to time. And on the other side, Guts is playing a lot more against, or a lot more with the double twin angels, playing with his Gianna, also playing the Irishon. So let's see what the two gentlemen cook up today.
Yeah, we've got their band then coming in, Gianna and that Intermission as well. Scribble Bibble with that first pick right here. Going in for an Oliver then. Did wonders for a previous player.
Yeah, Oliver, sometimes it's a miracle worker, sometimes it just doesn't get the skills in at the right moment. Vanessa on the side of Guts. It's actually a unit I haven't seen him play with all too much for a bit. He plays it from time to time, but it's not that common. Most of the time, it is paired up with high single target damage, and actually the payload of Guts is on a lot of damage.
Definitely is right here. Wow, okay. Scribble has been cooking right there. We've got a Sekhmet, we've got a Lamelia.
Lamelia and Sekhmet. Interesting. So we have one single target strip thus far. We're also, I think that the Layla is more of a steal rather than a comfortable pick. I think that Guts is just locking in more comfortable picks that kind of work together, rather than really saying it's like, okay, I have to super hard force something on this draft. So liking the style of Guts thus far, but let's see if Scribble has an answer for getting more of single target strips in. Otherwise, this Lamelia and Oliver are not going to do too much.
Won't be doing too much right here, but we've seen it in previous years. He used to love those robos, but they're not in the kind of meta at the moment or the play. Okeanos coming in again, another single target strip.
Yeah, adding in more and more single target strips, so you can kind of ignore the payload by that, and that's actually an AoE strip right there. So that also might be signaling we're going to be banning out that payload. But there's only one speed lead apiece. Guts could end that up with 2 speed leads potentially, or just have a very strong counter pick right here, because this is also kind of the scenario a Douglas would do a lot of work.
Yeah, or we're going in for an Etna instead then, so Guts changing it up definitely right there. Say, I mean, you're already saying Parta ban maybe?
Yeah, this is definitely where you make it difficult, because both players have one speed contesting unit and both players have one speed lead unit. So if you ban out one of the other from the enemy and your enemy doesn't do the same, you will outspeed, and that's exactly what Guts did right here.
Speed leads for the Summoners War European League match between Guts and Scribble Bibble right now. Say, let's find out if it works.
Shatter going in, and we're gonna connect enough crits to go for the skill 3. Skill 3 is bringing it below 50% HP, so that's a guaranteed on that stun right there. But let's see if he has enough value on this match right after.
Let's find out right here. I mean, again, Guts has been relying a lot on this Praha as well recently. Can look to get some sleeps, heals coming through as well, and just try and keep that Etna alive. Is that his game plan?
I think it might be the game plan. Also, the Lamelia and Oliver are taking comfortable turns when some of the immunity is already gone, so you can send out your skill 3s right now. You have to still be careful with this Etna coming in soon, but at least you have a provoke on 2 really crucial targets.
Yeah, you do right here. I mean, you've got that Vanessa can look even to try and get a defense break already, but Etna will be sweeping around soon. Wow, and gets that stun. We remember Despair.
Yeah, Despair Vanessa is doing a lot of work right there. Did not get that many defense breaks, so it's not really having a countable position. Otherwise, you might have been able to take out this Twin Angel. The Twin Angel is able to potentially stun. No stuns coming in just yet.
No, but now Oliver can come in, gets that cool time. You've got that skill 2 coming out, some big hits.
That's a lot of damage, but I'm not too sure if the Praha was actually on cooldown resets already. I'm not sure if he did already reset that earlier. Otherwise, the Praha could come back at the wrong moment, have the skills available, but in this case, the Oliver is doing its work. It's resetting all of those units.
It is resetting them right here. You've got the Parta getting some more damage coming in, but Etna cycling through quick enough right here, and she's going to clean it up for Guts the Berserk, say.
Yeah, this is the moment where you're like, okay, we're kind of even on the battlefield. Everything is at low HP, and then Etna takes a turn and is like, no, suddenly everything is dead. And that's exactly what's happening over here. Also showing it, Etna's coming back into the meta.
Yeah, Guts coming in clutch then with Etna, his girl, taking it down. 1 point against Scribble Bibble right there, say. I mean, wow. Keeping that one kind of damage dealer alive throughout, bringing some, obviously didn't manage to get the immunity off or even the healing, but it still managed to work out for Guts.
Yeah, it shows once again, Etna at the right moment, at the right timing. It just simply does so much damage. There's so much cycling coming in. The cooldowns are super low, especially on that Shatter. So you just keep cycling that damage in there. And the Lamelia had a good potential to do a lot of damage as well. But since there was no provoke on that Etna, because Etna also does steal buffs, it just simply did not work out.
Yeah, let's find out what he can change up right now then. Scribble Bibble against Guts the Berserk. Players that we've seen at RSWCs in previous years as well, going into the pre-bans of this one. Is this call for a trauma ban?
It might be a trauma ban right there. No, we're actually gonna go for a complete different bans. Actually, 2 bans of units that were not on the field altogether.
Yeah, they weren't there. Fire Megumi or that Jaeger. It does mean that Guts the Berserk will have that first pick. Is he going to opt again for that Despair Vanessa?
Nope, we're gonna be taking the most comfortable unit on the battlefield right now. Also the highest pick rate with the highest win rate on that Intermission in G3. That unit is sitting at an even higher win rate than Phantom was in previous meta. So therefore it's definitely locked in when you have that first pick.
Guts stealing across then with that Okeanos as well that was on Scribble's draft in that last phase. Partnering up with an Escher as well. Very much speed contesting, but changing it for Scribble.
Yep, changing it a little bit. Also going in for 2 units that are hard to debuff, while the Acroma is nearly impossible to debuff. But Acroma into healing kind of fights is difficult. And we're gonna go in for a Trevor! Oh wait, is that... Yeah, that is Trevor, right? That is a unit we haven't seen at all yet, but I would love to see that locked in right now.
Damn, here we go. Guts the Berserk changing it up a little bit then, right? Using those units along with a Misty. We know how dangerous his Misties can be.
Yeah, the big question is, Scribble, as we always say on streams, do you keep in the content or what you gonna do? I think that Chow is gonna say goodbye, that is for sure. But are you keeping in the content, Scribble?
Are you gonna let it play out right here? He's picked that unit. Chow is on the field at the moment. Like you said, likely a ban. But on the other side, do we see content or not, say?
I think either Trevor ban or the Misty ban, both of them are hard to deal with, but both of them you could potentially deal with if you get the right defense break at the right moment, followed up by an Acroma hit.
Yeah, let's find out then. Really taking the time on this one. 1 point up for Guts the Berserk in this match right here. Bans Chow, bans Eretion. Content is going right here, say. We're going to have a speed lead coming out on the side of Scribble Bibble. On the side of Guts the Berserk, we've got that attack lead from the Trevor as well. It's our match number 6, set 2, between Guts and Scribble Bibble right here. Who's going to get that point?
Ooh, this is also a super slow Trevor. So Trevor's all about the counters right now, or just taking a good turn at a random moment when a death break was already there. Let's see if that right moment is gonna happen. We're already looking at defense breaks. No defense break just yet, but that unit is looking fairly tanky.
It is right here. You've got a Chroma coming out. She can pop some silences. This is like where Scribble needs to control. Use that Oliver, use the Chroma to his advantage. But Guts the Berserk has that back pocket damage.
Yeah, back pocket damage on 2 very crucial units right there. The big thing that has to happen on the side of Scribble right now is that skill 2 of the segment. If the segment connects very well, then there could be a lot of work potentially for Scribble. We're gonna go for Death Breaks. Death Break in the second hit. How much Curse of the Beautiful do we get? We do get our Death Break, but no heal blocks. Heal blocks would have been very nice as well.
Yeah, heal blocks not on the units you want to see. Trevor, what have you got for us right here, brother? Let's find out. 13k damage coming in.
First, the 13k damage coming in, but it's definitely on more of a bruiser set, because every time you put it towards too low HP, ooh, I think we're gonna say goodbye. Branding, defense break, no, it's super tanky, therefore it was not doing too much damage, but if it's stunned, the passive doesn't fully activate, so it's not really participating in this fight. If it works at the right moment, but Segment had something to say about it with all of those debuffs.
Yeah, going in for the Okeanos right there. Getting some damage through, but I mean, you're chipping away, but you need to confirm a kill soon.
Yeah, you need to confirm a kill, plus you still have to be careful with this Misty. Misty is at full speed at the moment. You have to land a defense break or a heal block later. It's a lot of units on the side of Scribble that can do it, but you're nearly losing one. We're going for go for the bounce. Bounce taking out 2 units straight up on the side of Guts.
Damn, coming in hot right there. Again, getting some more damage coming into that Misty, but I mean, if Misty doesn't get online, this could be a Scribble Bibble set win.
Well, as Scribble Bibble would say, easiest win of his life. That unit did absolutely nothing. But then again, we could have seen a very different match if he did not land those debuffs. Scribble Bibble is actually, once again, we're going for 1-1.
Yeah, everyone's feeling very generous today as a player, I would say. I mean, everybody's sharing those points, 1 point apiece there between both Guts and Scribble Bibble as well. They really need these points, but like we were saying before, if everybody gets a point, nothing really happens. We could have probably just skipped over today, right, say? But we couldn't have skipped over. We want to see all these matches.
We definitely want to see those matches, but also Pafix walks away with 2 points. I think he was the only one taking 2 points right now. And that actually gives you, the more people 1-1 when you 2-0'd, the better it is for your leaderboard. So Pafix is kind of happy with all of those 1-1s, I would say.
Yeah, he'll take a couple more draws in the rest of our matches that are still yet to come as well. But a good point for both of our players right there, leaning into kind of the units again that have been performing well. Again, a Berghild coming out, doing some great stuff in that first one as well for Guts, with the Despair Vanessa coming out with a huge stun at the perfect moment. Kind of things always happen in Summoners War. You've got to be ready for it. You have no idea what that person has built on that unit, and there you go, it's come into fruition as well. Plenty of matches yet to go, say. Another few draws. I mean, looking at who's coming up, we've got like SmokeZzz, Ismoo, Aryes, TitoGoflette. More on the horizon.
There's a lot of options. Yeah, there's a lot of options right there. But then again, SmokeZzz and Ismoo, if we're looking clearly at leaderboards right now and the difference between the two players, Ismoo is sitting a lot higher. But does that actually mean something? That is going to be the big question in this matchup, because then again, Ismoo was sitting way higher in leaderboards against Aryes as well, and that still happened to be a 1-1.
Yeah, exactly. You have no idea what can happen. When you're in this different situation of playing in competitive, it's very hard to deal with those pre-bans. You go in with a certain rune set already prepared for your opponent, and maybe they throw fireworks in your face right there. But who's going to be the one to take out a point here, say?
Well, I think both of them will take out a point, but I'm still leaning a little bit more towards Ismoo.
Yeah, let's find out if Ismoo, the guy who's been there, got every single t-shirt possible from Summoners War, all of the SWCs that he's been to as one of our European players against SmokeZzz, somebody coming to prove himself at the highest stage right here. Are we due a magic trick for the ages, or are we going to watch both these players go up in a cloud of smokes? Let's find out in our match number 7 of the Summoners War European League day number 3 right here. Pre-bans, there could be plenty of different LDs here, say.
Yeah, this could be a very LD-heavy matchup. Well, we actually did see it in the previous match of SmokeZzz. The first few units that he locked in were all non-LDs, but both of these players actually share the combination of Yeonhong and Gianna, so there's potentially a lot of LDs to be drafted over here.
Let's find out if that is going to be contested in Ismoo's first pick right here. Escher and the Jaeger were those pre-bans, but opting for the Erection, getting that 33 speed lead on his side early.
Yeah, Erection just simply showing too strong, but on the other side, SmokeZzz, are we gonna dig into LDs halfway? We're gonna go for a Yeonhong, but pairing that up with a Soulfrag, breaking the combo of the double Dragon Warrior. But then again, you still have an Escher combination right now. No, we're actually gonna go to Gandalf already. Interesting pick.
Gandalf coming out, She-Ho to partner up as well, so you've still got that speed contest as well coming through right now. SmokeZzz opting for a 24 speed lead with that Ciara as well, then trying to get some damage going through on the side of Ismoo. But right here, is this where you pivot or you kind of continue into that speed?
No, we're actually kind of playing all kinds of ways around. So we're playing some contesting, some bruising, some bit of healing, some bit of everything. So sometimes those drafts do work out. Sometimes they're also really something that just doesn't work out at all. And we're finishing off the draft with a Vivachel. SmokeZzz, are you also finishing off the draft with an LD?
Let's find out. The Vivachel, we always say about this unit, say, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it looks stupidly horrendous on that battlefield. Gianna doubling up with those oracles right there. You love to see it.
Yeah, it's a very strong combination, especially with that Yeonhong. So the big question is Ismoo going to be breaking that Oracle combination? And on the other side, are we still fearing that Gandalf for all of those cleanses? Because Oracles do not like to fight against the Gandalf.
They definitely don't, but let's find out. They are going to be banning out the Gianna. We've taken away the Fire Megumi instead then. So it's speed leads 24 versus a 33 going into our Summoners War European League match 7 between SmokeZzz and Ismoo right here.
Ooh, we have Ismoo taking that first turn. Can we get the stun? We do get the stun, and that's also a lot of HP from this Yeonhong already gone. That Yeonhong is very squishy. But also, once again, Vivachel taking a turn where you're like, yeah, it kind of works, but is it good enough? Well, we're just simply taking out a unit with that turn because it cut right after this Yeonhong right there.
Managing now to confirm that kill coming through. You still have to deal with immunity as well if you're on the side of SmokeZzz. This is going to be really tough for him.
Yep, we have Ciara taking a turn soon. Is protected by that immunity for this moment, but also there are some reflex and shields to work with on the enemy side. Plus, if you do any skill right now, you were to wake up that Vivachel, but I think you simply have to do it. It's actually not going to go for it just yet, is letting it sleep.
No, he's letting it sleep right here. Ciara in that kind of awkward position right now. Does get the bomb on that Vivachel, though. You want to try and get her down, get away some of that healing.
Yeah, let's see how much this Gandalf can do. No additional turn for the Gandalf just yet, but we have an all or nothing on the monkey against two wrong elements. Is landing neither of it. No stun connected, but a seal did connect right there.
Yeah, seal, but on a unit that's on Swift, it's not going to do too much for you. You need to try and start landing on the rest. Does get one there, but Gandalf, hello.
Yeah, Gandalf says hello, and that's one of those things. If you explode the bombs, which you might say in hindsight, like, oh, you should have exploded the bomb, but then the damage on the shield was probably not that much. You need double bomb to get through a shield properly and then do a fixed amount of damage. But right now it's just like, yeah, we cleansed that off and we're fighting reflex. And by the way, the reflex are killing you more than the enemy is killing you.
Damn, him being on the field, there's no getting through him right now, say. I mean, this is crazy drafting from Ismoo, and it's coming to great effect.
Yep, yeah, this is maybe the moment you can start dealing some damage on the Gandalf, but the issue is damage on the Gandalf is like, yeah, he's full HP. You're not gonna go through that, and that's just, it once again shows, we don't see that many Gandalfs, but every Gandalf we see, it seems like it's super, super strong.
Yeah, it has been performing very well in the Summoners War European League right there. Ismoo with that point to prove it as well. SmokeZzz, you're going to have to try and turn things around as quickly as you possibly can here. He's currently still joint on the same league rank as well here at the moment, say. So he needs to kind of get one up on his friend.
Yeah, let's see if he can make it. Pre-bans. Do we go for pre-bans? The Jaeger is pickable for SmokeZzz this time around. We're actually going to be banning out normal elemental units.
Normal element. Shiho and that Intermission coming out then for the pre-bans, taking away that speed lead. Did not want to deal with it later on. You've got that first pick now. Do you still contest that Yonhong?
Yeah, that's going to be the big question. Or do you contest like a Gianna or anything? Yep, contesting the Yonhong. It was outsped by the Shiho, but that Shiho is not going to be on the field. It is banned out. And Ismoo simply just going to go back to passive units because this Gandalf is so strong.
Yeah, partnering up with that Fire Megumi, taking a speed lead through as well. If you're on the side of SmokeZzz, you really, if you're going to commit to that first turn, you need to make it count.
Yeah, that is kind of the awkward thing about the Yonhong. Sure, it has very strong pairs, but into a Gandalf, it just has a really difficult of a matchup. So Sierra Gianna going to be pairing up all of those, but this is the moment. Gandalf is already on the field. Ismoo is going to lock in the Josephine. It's 100%. Plus, Ismoo has more Josephine kind of units. It's called a Pan Down Dark Demying.
Yeah, but he did so much work in previous iterations of the Summoners War European League. Jaeger coming out as the response from SmokeZzz right here, but it feels maybe a little bit too little, too late.
Yeah, it will be the Jaeger without too much bruiser protection. It might be nice if it's super tanky and it can survive and therefore draw the attention from the other units. And I think Solvark is kind of trying to do the same thing. But is that going to be enough right there? Because I think once again, you might be fighting too many reflex to actually get some proper damage in. Sure, the Oracles might try their thing, but Ismoo still has a 5th pick.
Yeah, but right here, look, again, I mean, you're not banning out Gianna if you're Ismoo right now.
No, you got Gianna covered, you got Sierra covered, but even the Solvark you got covered. You're probably with this unit locked in, you're going to be banning out that Jaeger.
Yeah, get rid of the damage. You can deal through quick response as well. Then for the bans, Gandalf taking out the Jaeger as well. So speed leads for both SmokeZzz and Ismoo right here in the Summoners War European League Match 7. Set number 2 between these guys. Can SmokeZzz reclaim a point?
Well, the big question is, can you get Sierra to detonate 2 bombs? If SmokeZzz get a rotation off where he's able to do that, he might be taking out a unit on that first hit. But that is not the right choice for boosting up your Megumi, getting your unit stunned.
No, and right here, I mean, yes, Gianna's going to be taking a turn, but you've always got Josephine coming in to back it up, and even a Veramos as well later on. Gets the stuns in, shield come out. Oh.
Yeah, shield coming out. Actually, the Megumi, or not the Megumi, the Ming wasn't stunned yet, so therefore did not activate the passive just yet. So you have 2 different kind of Josephine passes on the field right now, which is very annoying to deal with. Plus, your units are stunned and provoked.
Yeah, they are right here. It's going to be a lot of work that needs coming from the Solvark then right here. Does get the silences at least out on the field. Can get some heal blocks as well.
Get some heal blocks, get some silences, so it's definitely something to work with. But the moment that Veramos will be taking turns, it will be cleansing off all of those things. Plus, the threat state is now stolen by this Megumi. 3-turn threat state on this Megumi is very annoying, because then all of your bombs have to go over there. This Miying already locking is so much damage with that first hit defense break right there.
Yeah, bombs are not going to be the answer, I don't think, against the units that he's seen on the other side of the field. Simple skill ones coming in from a Miying are taking units down left, right, and center.
Yeah, it's also unfortunate that the Soul Arc took the additional turn. If you had that additional turn on the Sierra had skills available, could have potentially taken out this Miying. I think even from there, you still wouldn't have been able to win this match, because this Miying is still one of those units. It's so good into those bombers. Moments they explode something, the unit just does well too much damage, and you're not going to be taken out. Ismoo sitting at 2-point victory right here.
The second 2-0 of today then, so we're breaking that curse of the 1-0 draws right there, and Ismoo taking 2 points, which he will need to get a little bit higher up in our Summoners War leaderboard. Again, honestly say I think it was just some really clean drafting on the side of Ismoo right there. Knew kind of how to play around whatever was put in front of him, and I think that comes from experience, right? You've been at SWCs, you've been in these situations before in high pressure matches, competitions, and being able to bring it through to the end is why you're still here and why we're still around watching him.
Yep. Plus, I would say Ismoo is probably the hardest target for SmokeZzz, because if you play something yourself, you know how it's countered. And Ismoo is pretty much all of those units that SmokeZzz was drafting against him. So then he's simply like, we would be like, okay, I lose against Gandalf, I lose against the Megumi, I lose against Josephine. Let me just lock in all of those units, line those up, and it worked out perfectly for Ismoo right there.
Definitely did, and that's why he's gained 2 more points onto our leaderboard right there. We won't be showing you the leaderboard until the very end of today. Maybe some of you in chat have already been doing the maths and kind of calculating exactly where they are going to be. But right there, confirmation, Ismoo 2, SmokeZzz 0 in that one. 4 more matches still yet to come, say as well. 1 more before we go into our second break. Aryes versus TitoGoflette here. Actually, the first battle of the 2 Belgians as well right there.
Yeah, I think it's also the first time we have 2 Belgian players in the competition. So it's cool to see what the 2 gentlemen can bring on this one. However, Aryes, he's really one of those that surprises. First pick Asuma. It actually worked out in that second match against Ismoo. Is he going to be able to do that against a Ragdoll on the side of TitoGoflette though?
Yeah, it's all for us to find out right here between both of these guys. Some different playstyles. We've seen them in action already today. Say, still on that fence over there?
Well, I would have to give it to TitoGoflette simply by leaderboard's difference that we are seeing right now. But then again, Aryes also took a point from Ismoo, so you never know.
Let's find out. Pronunciation problems meet the waffle iron. Someone's getting toasted in this one. Aryes versus TitoGoflette in our match number 8 of the Day 3 Summoners War European League right here. Pre-bans likely to come in. Did they watch those previous matches the players were doing? An Asuma pre-ban? Oh,
it could be a thing, but I would rather go for a Heigang pre-ban if someone picks Asuma, because Asuma's replaced by like an Amber. Asuma's replaced by so many other units. But no, we're actually going to go for a Gandalf pre-ban. Interesting to see.
Yeah, Gandalf coming out with that Gianna as well. It does mean that TitoGoflette will have that first pick right here. Options of the different speed leads that he might want to go to, or if there's a contested unit, but we're going for that Eretion.
Back to the Eretion. Let's see what Aryes has cooking up. Do we go back to a Heigang? And no, we're actually going to go for a third, but still a Heigang. It does work. It is a wind unit, and it does hit AoE on both of the S2 and S3. So let's see if a third does work out over here.
Yeah, Verd coming in, but then TitoGoflette backing it up with kind of some more AoE coming there with the skill 3 of Okeanos to get some damage coming in. Who are you looking to partner it up though right there with? You've got the speed lead, you've got some sort of a speed contest potentially.
Yeah, that's the thing. This draft gets really awkward of what simply works, and locking in good bruiser units such as the Hwoarang is probably the best of options he could go for. On the other side, Aryes, what is he going to draft with this kind of style? He still has the Cadiz that he likes to draft towards the end of the match, but is he going to be looking towards more bruises or simply still locking in some kind of water units that have some debuff potential? No, we're actually going to go all over the place with the Vanessa right now and a Christina. That's a very odd draft right there.
Yeah, this dude has cooked way too hard potentially going in, but remember, if you're picking odd, your opponent doesn't always know like what to do in those situations. Do you continue with the play that you were trying to go through, or do you have to answer into the response from Aryes right here? 4th and 5th pick for TitoGoflette. Seems like he's opting more for the bruiser, and he has.
Yeah, it's gonna go for the bruiser, but without healing. It's taking away the Cardinal. Is he gonna take a healer in there? It's gonna take a healer in there, but also an Asher is kind of in an awkward position right here. If you take out the Christina, Aryes has near to no damage, but it has so much cycling because of a third and Angela on the healing that it might take way too long to actually take anything out. So this is actually going to be an interesting fight on drafts that don't make too much sense on neither side, in my opinion.
No, Okeanos and Angela being banned out then. So we've got 33 speed leads for both Aryes and TitoGoflette in this one. Let's find out what happens here in the Summoners War European League. Match 8 between Aryes and TitoGoflette.
Yeah, let's see what's gonna happen. Christina is not even on Will, so it's most likely on a Rage plus a Nemesis set, and that's why you trigger the Nemesis right away. Also, if Christina did not get full stacks when it takes a turn, which is smart by Tito, you don't have the full stacks on the passive just yet, so you can send out your skill, but it's not gonna have that much damage improvement as you would like to see in this unit normally. So therefore, most of the time, it is on Will rather than it is on Nemesis. It is actually on Violet. Violet Nemesis on this build.
Damn, managing to take a turn, getting that additional one right there. If you are Vanessa, are we going to see another Despair Vanessa at all? No, not this time.
No, not this time. Despair stance over there. We do Despair the Gideon right here. But if we go for skill 2, I think you don't really want to send the S2. Does send the S2. No counter from this Vert. Also, knowing Aryes, I wouldn't be surprised if this Vert is simply on Violent and not even on Revenge. But the big question is right now, do you feel comfortable enough to giving an attack buff to this Christina? And yes, we are attack buff to the Christina. It is pretty slow of a unit, but this Vert will double push up.
It will be able to be. You're against some speed buffs right there, and it's going to cut in. I don't even know if it will be able to take a turn here, say.
Yeah, the big question is right now, if you S1 on that unit, you were most likely gonna give enough bar because of that Nemesis. But the Raptor on the speed buff is definitely gonna take that out. That is way too many hits and simply taking out this Christina. And from here, I don't think a Vert can win this ever.
No, you've got your damage has been taken away, and to be honest, that Light Hwarang, this is where he loves to play right now. Yes, you've got Bird, you're going to take a lot of turns, but taking turns with no damage feels like a waste.
Yeah, there's actually really no damage on it. Even if you get defense breaks, even if you get Despair stunts potentially on those units, you're still not really doing damage, especially since that Gideon is still on the field. A defense buffed Gideon also means that you have to hit it because of the threat state, but also does mitigate a lot more damage.
Definitely does right here. Yes, there's 2 fire units on the field, but it's looking like all she wrote here for Aryes as TitoGoflette. That Hwarang doing so much damage.
Yeah, Hwarang doing a lot of damage right there. We can finally hit something else than the wrong element, but this is also the moment. Defense buff on this Gideon. I could see a dead unit right there. 10k very close.
10k going in right there. Now you can send those AoE skills, do the damage, and there it is, confirmation. 1 set win for TitoGoflette against Aryes right there. I mean, he's been cooking every single time in this first set, say, and then it kind of changes things around, but I mean, an odd move.
Yeah, definitely an odd move. In this case, absolutely did not work out. I'm not really sure about Christina's on Nemesis, because she needs to have, I think it is 5 turns on the enemy side to get full passive, or it's 4 turns, one of the 2. And after that, she can do an insane amount of damage because of her damage increase. But without that, you don't even really want to be using your skill 4. And he chose not to do it, and after that, he didn't have a single chance to actually do it at a later moment.
No, he didn't. Pre-bans came in, then that Light Hwarang, a bit of a trauma, as well as a Hagan being taken out, but looking to steal that Erection and respond with a Fire Megumi.
Yeah, Fire Megumi. Tito does have the option to go for Gianna at a later moment, but so far we're pairing that up with countable units with the Asher.
Asher following as well. Josephine looking to respond to those stuns that will come out from the Fire Megumi right there. Aryes with this 3rd pick right now. He's probably one of the hardest players to know what's coming next.
Yep, well, we're going back to the Cadiz, so definitely option over there, but against the Cadiz, we're still locking in another unit that can potentially stun, but cannot be stunned by itself. Strong unit right there, but not sure if that is the best option to play against the Josephine right now.
Yeah, let's see, Berghild, who else are you looking to choose then in this 4th pick? If you are TitoGoflette, you want to be securing points. Currently in 3rd place in our league as well, so wants to claw and get closer to Obabo, who's likely at the top. A Juno coming out. We've seen some Vampire Junos in the past.
Yeah, could be a little bit of too early of a Juno, because Juno is not really specifically hard countering any of those units on the field. Sure, it's nice against it, but I actually really like the 4 and 5 from Aryes right there.
Yep, coming in with the Water Gandalf and that Fire Legolas as well. TitoGoflette throwing out a Sonya. Will she even make it through, though?
No, this Sonya definitely has to be banned, because if your enemy bans the speed lead or bans anything according and right, you have a potential speed buff on that Sonya as well. You're definitely going to be taking out something with that Sonya. So Sonya has to be banned. On the other side, it's kind of what you don't want to bruiser against, and that's once again the Gandalf.
Yeah, proving too strong. Speed leads then for both Aryes and TitoGoflette, 33 and a 28 in our match number 8 of the Summoners War European League. Set 2. Can he get another point?
Yeah, big question is, what is this Cadiz gonna do? Because Cadiz, I guess, is on triple revenge. We have seen it revenge a lot. But in this whole lineup, it could be simply ignored and not hit at all, because everything is single target hits.
Yeah, single targets going through. You're up against some immunity right now. Resisted there, though, huge. I mean, even if you get stuns out, Josephine's gonna cut.
Oh, we're gonna go for the S2. And we only stun... Oh, we did also stun the Cadiz. I thought for a second that only the Josephine was stunned right now, the one unit you don't want to see. But it also did stun the Cadiz, so it has a little bit of value over there. Can we get heal blocks? No value. Well, yeah, a little bit of value from that skill tree, but not all too much, just taking out the speed buff.
Yeah, getting rid of that speed buff right now. You're sending in. Don't manage to get a stun either from that Fire Megumi. And Legolas, it's your time to shine.
That was, I think, a 5-hit. Starting off with a 5-hit right away. Does get a defense break, does have a shield, but Massacre can do a good bit of damage. Does do a lot of damage. And Juno's here to take out that Legolas.
Yeah, Legolas is down. He only got a few hits away, like you said there, Say. It's the time of Cadiz, if anything. But with a defense break on him, it's going to be tough.
Defense break, no counters coming in. I'm not sure about the build of triple revenge. Well, in the end, triple revenge is also a 45 check every time. You could still get very lucky on those or very unlucky, but in this case, this Cadiz is sleeping on those revenge. It's simply not doing it, and I think right away leaving the battlefield.
Yeah, leaving it away right now. Josephine, you're going to have to start plowing away some damage because Juno's going to be getting some good traction.
Yeah, Juno is on Despair, did have a Despair stun earlier. It's not showing up the recovery, but I think this match is very over right now. Burkhild is landing a lot of those defense breaks, and Josephine against Juno, Juno should always win.
Yeah, it definitely should. And I mean, let's find out. He's playing it out right now. You've got coming in. You're going to get some counters, but it's just more healing.
Yeah, simply more healing. Massacres coming up in 2 turns, so after that, it is definitely over. And Aryes does know that, and we once again have 2 points going to one of the 2 players, in this case, TitoGoflette.
TitoGoflette taking that win then against Aryes. Maybe you jumped up even into a second position then, TitoGoflette. We'll have to find out at the end of today to see what all of these points are going to do for our leaderboard right there. But another 2-0. Not so many today, but these are the ones that could count, like you were saying earlier. If you can get them now when people are kind of losing points left, right, and center, this is where you tally it up. We're approaching soon to be halfway through the league phase as well. So at the end of today, we're halfway through. 3 more weeks still yet to go. So another 33 more matches still to be played in our league. And from that, we're going to find out who makes it all the way to our playoffs in the different seeding from getting higher in that leaderboard. TitoGoflette came to play, conquered, and I mean, he's sending out a message to the rest of the players over here. So we've still got a Malignant, a Pafix, a Slappy, a Raxxaz, a LastDeadlySin, and a Scribble yet to go in our final 3 matches of the day. We've still got a little break in between there, but any of the matches that really stood out to you so far?
Well, definitely, once again, the highlight match of today, Obabo Raxxaz. That was definitely a banger, and we will see Raxxaz play again. That also does mean, I think, after today, everyone played the same amount of matches, because before we saw the leaderboards, and some people played 3 matches, some people played 2 matches, then later we saw 4 matches against 3 matches. I think this time around, everyone did play 5, so this is going to be really the halfway point, seeing what is the current standing and who has to step up their game. But before we go into all of those, we still have 3 more matches to go.
We definitely do. 3 more wonderful matches yet to come. And obviously, you guys are still here for probably like 2 reasons that kind of happen during these streams. And one of those reasons is going to be below you, right here. Dritte Woche Svel. Oh, my German was on point there, Say. What do we get with that? 100 energy, 1 mystical scroll. Maybe you can get a water Gandalf. Let us know. What would you want to get right now, Say? Is there anything you're missing?
I'm missing about 5 normal elemental units, so not that many, but your German almost sounds as if you're living there for many, many years.
Could be the case, my friend. But I just want to hear more stories from Say. We should call this like Say's story time and find out all about the wonderful things that are happening, because Summoners War European League, we know what's happening here, but we don't know what's happening with Say, our man, who's, where were you, ranked 29 at the moment?
No, I dropped from 29 to 45 simply because too many people are playing. Also, guys, by the way, Tour of Europe was announced. The dates are there, the cities are there, or at least the months kind of are there. Do definitely check those out if you want to go to real life events. Summoners War, European Cup also coming later.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Summoners War European League 2026. We are in our final phase of day number 3 right here, bringing you the final 3 matches that are going to be happening in this competition to find out exactly what is happening in our leaderboard. Say, we've gone through it before. We've said it many times before the break. 1-all draws, 2-0s, not so many. Are we going to finish off strong, get some more points for these players going into those last matches, or what do you think is going to happen?
Well, we do have Malignant playing, and he was sitting all the way at the bottom of the leaderboard thus far. I think he's still tied at the bottom side with Aryes, but if he takes 1 point, he goes 1 up on Aryes. So he's definitely aiming for that one right there. But then again, he has to fight against Pafix, which I think is sitting at rank 2 or rank 3 at the current leaderboard. So that's going to be a difficult matchup, and let's see if his play style with all of those LDs does work out today.
Let's find out. I mean, after these 3 matches, we will be halfway through our league phase competition as well. So it's really going to put things into standings to see exactly where people might end up, how many points you've managed to get thus far. And it's going to be all important for our playoffs coming up on the 4th of April. Put that reminder in your calendar if you haven't already. Malignant, Pafix, like you were just mentioning, say, very big boxes, LDs plenty, but we've had a mixed bag of fortunes for both of these players. Again, you still wanting to sit on the fence on this one, or do you want to go on this side where Douglas isn't?
Well, it really depends how Malignant plays, because I think the playstyle of Malignant currently, the Vanessa, Yeon Hong, Gianna, it doesn't work that well. And especially since Pafix has a Zenisec, I might favor Pafix on this one, but I might also just have cursed it.
Let's find out in this one. My wager failed last week, but maybe another match without an LD for Say to finally be silent. What do you reckon? Do you reckon it'll happen?
No, I don't think it will happen in this one. Definitely not in this one. We already have 2 LDs being banned over there. I do expect first pick on the Draken Warrior on Wind, but then Malignant is gonna go Vanessa plus an LD, for sure.
Damn, locked it in already. If the guys listening, you know what to do. If you were say Eresion does come in, are we going to be 3 for 3?
Yep, there we have it. So 3 for 3 on or like the pick prediction right there. But from there, it gets a little bit more creative. How far do we go? Zenisec this early doesn't help. Do you contest on the speed on an Asher? Is an option. Do you go for the Soulfork? There's a lot of options right here that you could go for. But that is maybe something that you haven't played too often against the Vanessa Yeon Hong. But you do know if you give a chance for Gianna to come in, it will come out. And we're gonna go back to a Gandalf. So potentially, if a Gianna comes out, Josephine later.
Yeah, we've got some shield, we've got that protection, we've got some sustain coming in the form of Escher as well right now. Malignant with that 3rd and 4th pick right here. Again, usually tending to go for those LDs, but oh my god, no.
Genny Hathor, well, actually, in all honesty, if you have to beat something that's very toxic and very annoying, aka Mr. Gandalf on water, bringing something that's very toxic and very annoying does actually work in the form of the double wind unit you see here on the left, the Genny and the Hathor. It's actually super strong against that, but there are a few more counters against it in the form of a Masha, a Meowang, a Juno. There is Oblivion right now on the side of the Hathor, but a Masha still has immunity up most of the time. So let's see if that unit makes it through the mesh. On the other side, we also have something anti-the pushbacks, which is going to be that Zenisec.
Yeah, Zenisec coming out. Diana was that 5th pick as well for Malignant right here. It's come back to haunt us right here. Say, will it manage to make its way through, or do you have to respect something else around it? I mean, that Water Gandalf as well was good.
Yeah, I think that it's probably going to be a ban. Well, the Diana's a really good pick as well. But on the other side, I think that Hathor, you would have to take that out if you're missing your Marsha, and that's exactly what's happening over here.
We've got it then. Speed leads going into this one. It is Malignant versus Pafix. Rank 2 versus rank 11 right now in the Summoners War European League. Can he get a point?
We also have an outspeed on this Yeon Hong right now. Do we go right away for the S2, which is inconsistent? Yep, we're gonna go for it. Does actually connect, but we're not boosting up enough attack bar, so we have the Asher cutting in.
Yeah, Asher can cut in, so... Oh, but that's a good resistance right here, but you're going to be having to send this Eresion right now.
Yeah, you definitely have to send the Eresion. That also does mean that the Diana will move right after. Diana can go for a cycling. I think it's actually best to go for the cycling right now, because now you're not fighting the reflex just yet.
Yeah, you're not going up against the shields from the Gandalf as well right there, but we're going to have to see if Ganymede can like pull the world on his shoulders.
You could also go for a reset right now. It was an option to actually go for it where you just simply reset the Diana, right away go for skill 2, probably take out the unit cleanly, because now the unit still lives. I think he could have played it. It was a little bit of like how many debuffs would you have landed on that, but you could have maybe taken out a unit right there.
Yeah, because look, he's back up healthy right there, the Intermission. Oh, and getting a defense break and a stun as well for your main damage dealer.
Yeah, defense break and stun. I don't think it will be taken out just yet. Yan Hong has something to say about it with the charge vitality. But also your skill 2 right now, the ventilation, is still going to be resetting that simply for having another Blade Fang coming in later to add some more damage. No additional turn, but defense break, Blade Fang does simply take out a Draken Warrior that's death broken.
Good for the side of Malignant right here. I mean, that Diana, the more he can keep it alive, the more damage he can plow away. But eventually, Esche is going to get some speed and some healing of his own.
Yep, and it's also the big question. Zenny said, can you land the bombs? There's nothing to cleanse it on the enemy side. You can lock down a unit for 2 turns, which is very, very long. Can we land the apple, stun, bomb, whatever it is on this Diana right now? And we do connect all of those, but we have a stun bomb resisted additional turn. You hate to see that as a bomb player.
You definitely do right there, but I mean, there's a slither of health remaining on that Diana right here, and it's not going to be long before he can take it out again, say.
Yep, but also the big question is the Vanessa. We still have some passives coming in over there. You can also potentially reset things in both kind of shape or ways. Seal magic for the enemy, but also the ventilate for your own team.
Yeah, you're not breaking through that shield at the moment right here. You've managed to get that sustain coming through from the Yonhong. This could be the play from Malignant.
Yeah, this is actually, it seems to be working very well. Actually, way better than the Gianna style that he was doing, because the Gianna style would have had a lot of issues with this Gandalf, whereas the Genny Hathor, and then finishing it up with a very strong Diana that eats all of the focus, but is still a very tanky unit, and being healed up multiple times. It's working way better for Malignant than the previous styles. Blade Fang rotation, once again, 13k doing a massive amount of damage, and he's looking to take another point on the board today.
Wow, perfect rotation for him right there. Now we can start getting some more damage. Is Diana going to do her normal thing?
No, actually, Diana's not dealing her normal Diana things, but it's also not really needed in this matchup. This is just so well drafted that it's not needed at all, because Pavix is simply lacking damage output with the units on the field that he had. Could not take out the Diana, but then even if he took it out once, he had to take it out again.
Yep, you've got to get that second time with the Eye of Sauron on the field protecting you there. But Malignant taking that 1-0 victory against Pavix so far. This is spoiling that leaderboard right now. 11th position taking a point against the second, say. I mean, are things going to carry on that way, do you reckon?
Yeah, it could very well be, but maybe this is also the eye-opener for Malignant to not slap in a Yan Hong and Gianna every time in 2 and 3, but actually deviate a little bit more from the draft. In this case, the Genny Hathor worked out very well.
Definitely did right there, and that's why we're seeing instead in the pre-bans, we're going to take away that Esche and that Yonhong that did resist a lot of those bombs in the last one for Malignant, and he's going to have that first turn pick as well. He's still going to go Vanessa. You're going to go for an Erection to steal.
Well, let's see if he goes for the playstyle for steals. I'm not sure if he's too comfortable in stealing. He mostly plays the same thing over and over, and we have seen it in most league days so far. But this time around, it's going to be slightly different, and it's also already speed contested by the side of Pavix by banning out the fastest unit on the enemy side, but still taking a fast unit on his own side.
Yeah, bringing that segment right there. Malignant, like we know, has got a deep box with those LDs as Aratu. Very dangerous if he can get online, but a Sekhmet can respond with that.
Yeah, Zartu is still high value, but we're actually stealing the Gandalf. So does the Gandalf player himself know what counters Gandalf? I would like a Fire Legolas in this position, because stealing the buffs from a Zartu is very strong, but also stealing everything from the Gandalf that's provided to his allies is super strong as well. Is that early and you already have a fire unit locked in? Is that the route that you're going to go for? We're going to go for a Bolfric, is a strong counter, and we're going to go for some more damage in the form of a monkey. But this looks like a Josephine option. It's not going to go for Josephine just yet. That's quite odd.
Yeah, we're going in for that Diana then. Instead, brought a lot of damage. A unit that he knows worked from that last set, so maybe kind of relying onto it right there in the 4th pick. And it's a good response against 2 water units.
It's a good response against 2 water units. The only issue is you have to hit that wind unit until it's dead, or you have to ban it out. And this is definitely an option where I would say a Josephine looks a lot more interesting, because a Josephine with good enough rotations can lock down a Bolfric pretty easily.
Let's find out then this 5th pick from Pafix. Where is he going to look to kind of pivot through right there? Tion Lang, he wants to get some of that attack bar that the other team's going to be taking.
Yeah, and there's a lot of attack bar gain. There's 3 units on the enemy side that give attack bar gain. Plus this Diana is kind of in an off position. Plus nothing is countering this Bullfrog, so you have to take out the Bullfrog so Tion Lang makes it to the field.
We're going to be having speed leads then for both Pafix and Malignant right here in the Summoners War European League. Match 9 of today, the set 2. Can Malignant get another point from today's competition, or is Pafix coming back for some revenge?
Well, let's first see what Monkey and Segment have to say about this matchup. Connecting a stun on the very last moment. There were a lot of resistance coming in, but on the very last moment did get that stun right there. We're going to go for a defense break. Where do we connect the defense break? We're going to go for the Tion Lang, taking the additional turn. No increased cooltime. You would have rather seen that increased cooltime on that 0-2 right there, but already half HP on this Tion Lang.
Yeah, super. Is it squishy or just a lot of damage going through there? I kind of missed it, but right now you've also got that cooltime on the Gandalf, so he's not going to be providing much protection. And if you can get rid of that Zeratu before, it's going to look good.
It's definitely going to look good. Skill 2, do you go for it? All or nothing is going to be taking out stuns. This is a big thing right now. Heal blocks, you're aiming for heal blocks. Did get heal blocks on most, but you're also mainly healing that Zeratu almost up to full defense break. Did get a defense break very early. Do we get another stun? Does get another stun, does get the additional turn. And I think we're looking at sharing a 0.1 apiece. Back and forth once again, because these units are just connecting for Pafix everything that he needs. Match isn't over yet, but we're looking at kind of low HP and low damage on the side of Malignant right now.
Yeah, and if he can't get Vanessa to get any revives through, he's just going to have to try and hold on through it, because a Juno and a Gandalf together, maybe, but it seems crazy.
It seems crazy, but there is Vamp on this Juno, so taking the Juno out is going to be difficult, but taking out this Gandalf is also going to be difficult. So I can potentially see this work, because the side of Pafix doesn't have any healing. The side of Pafix is taking the additional turns on defense break.
Yeah, taking those turns. Again, that defense break's still there to try and get rid of that Gandalf. But like you said, you're up against that Vamp Juno.
Yeah, Vamp Juno is also taking all of the right turns. Are you going to send it again? This would be very crazy if you send that skill 2 right now. Defense break, can you land it? Is landing all of the defense breaks. Monkey's getting all of the additional turns. Juno does not like a matchup like this, where she's just being hit by so many defense breaks on her allies. This is too much of an uphill battle. If there was just 1 unit or 2 units on the field, she would have definitely been able to win it. But from here, it's still going to be very difficult. And this Monkey's Elemental King on top of his Violent King right there.
Oh, taking her really close to the edge right there, landing those defense breaks like you said. A little bit of healing's going to be coming through with those debuffs, but Water Monkey, the moment he gets that skill 3, it's all she wrote.
Yeah, you have to take her out in this rotation, but you're probably not going to be able to do it. This is the moment where you would have to take it out. He's pretty close though, but the skill 3 of the segment is actually the only skill that doesn't land any debuffs, and that simply takes it out. And we go once again, 1 apiece.
1 apiece, another draw to add to the current collection that we've had in our Summoners War European League day number 3 right there. Say, Malignant showed off kind of a different playstyle, changed things up in that set 1, set 2. Tried it again, but in the end, Pafix came through a little bit too strong there. And I think knowing how you play with a certain unit and when it comes up and gets stolen against you, showing how to play against it, right? So we've seen it there with the Water Gandalf in that situation. And as long as you have the knowledge for kind of all of the different units that you might want to pick yourself, how are you going to deal with it in those situations right there? Another point shared. This could be a really interesting leaderboard where everybody just kind of, oh, we'll all take a jump up the stairs together, right?
Yeah, it kind of does feel like that. And also, everything that Pafix drafted did work out in the end. The Zeratu didn't get any turn. And that's really what you like to see when you're playing against Zeratu, because if the Zeratu starts taking additional turns, we might have seen a very different match. But we still have 2 matches to play for. That could be draws, but I think neither of those 4 gentlemen want to be sharing a point. They'd rather take 2 for themselves.
Yeah, they definitely need to be as well, because we're approaching that halfway point of this league phase right here. Best of 2s, you get 1 set win and it adds up onto your leaderboard. And that's what they're all playing for right here. Next match is going to be Slappy versus Raxxaz. Both of them coming off the back of a draw earlier today, say. Still on the fence, or can we get you over to a side?
I would say that I think Raxxaz has a little bit of upper hand simply by playing more tournaments, playing more best of 5s, and also playing more with pre-ban. But then again, Slappy has surprised us a few times. Also, both of those players are from the same guild Origin, so shout out to Origin as well.
Nice. Give it a little call out right there. You know that there's siege going on right now. Get your predictions in the in-game event as well. Make sure you're supporting who you want to see win. But a double serving of meatballs today. How can he still be this hungry? Let's find out what Raxxaz has got for Slappy in this one right now. Say pre-bans likely to come in very soon. And we know how dangerous the Giannas, the Yonhongs, but then on the other side, all of the Beelzebubs. You've got everything else that Raxxaz has up his sleeve as well. What are you thinking for a ban?
I think Jaeger is still the most pivotal unit from Raxxaz, so probably taking that out is what most people do. But Hwoarang is also super strong. On the other side, I think Raxxaz knows that Slappy is super fast, but that fast set is probably on one unit, and we're just banning out the unit, but also that fast set.
Yeah, hoping that it is on that Yonhong and the light Hwoarang as well. Raxxaz with that first pick, we're going back to Intermission. Wow, early Berghild.
Ooh, he's showcasing that his
Is this a guild thing right now, say?
I'm not too sure. I'm not sure if Slappy has a Berghild, but is he now showing off the wrong Gianna or something that we're picking Prahas? Interesting drafting so far.
Yeah, this is really hard to commentate on when you see these units. We've got the Esche locked in as well, though, right now. Who's he going to look to partner up with? Maybe another speed lead. We've seen Jingjae's before. Up to him, Vanessa even.
Yeah, I think, well, he's still going back to Sierra. You don't see the combination of an Esche Sierra too much. You mostly see that with a Yonhong, but Yonhong is banned out. So he's still going to comfortable units, and they're kind of trying to solve it by a different unit, but also stealing a unit, because Esche would definitely be played by Raxxaz if it wasn't picked up already.
Oh, and throwing out two of those LDs right there, the Jaeger and the Berghild as well. Slappy, how are you going to be looking to respond? You've got that Gianna as well if you want to bring your own out into the field, but third and fourth pick.
Yeah, picking Gianna into this doesn't have that much value because two units cannot be stunned. And we're actually going to go for Ella. Are we going back to the Ella Irene that Slappy used against Scribble? In this case, we're not going to go for that. We're going to go for two fast contesting units, but then the Ella to kind of mix and match things up.
Yeah, and we're seeing a lot of wind on Slappy's side, so Raxxaz seeing that, pivoting into the Okeanos with the Fire Megumi as well, get some stuns out. I know there's one person in chat who wants that Irene, sir.
Yeah, Ammo would love to see an Irene, but even himself right now, he's not playing that much because it's also a double-edged sword. If she lands all of her skills, it's super strong, but if she doesn't land, if she doesn't connect, she might as well not be there. But the big question is, are we locking in another speed lead? No, we have two speed leads on the enemy side in that case, which might be simply where your enemy is taken out, but we're going to go for a heavy stun unit against a full team that cannot be stunned. That is interesting.
Yeah, well, we've seen stranger things work before, say, but let's find out if it does, because Sonya's been banned out, the Jaeger as well right there. So we've got speed leads for both Slappy and Raxxaz right here in our match number 10 of the Summoners War European League. Let's find out how this one ends.
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting pick right there, because I could be that it's the Solid. No, I'm pretty sure that's the Hilda, and Hilda does have AoE stunts, but if the enemy takes a turn and does not hit her, she will cycle her skills. But is that going to be good in this matchup altogether? Once again, Berghild being inconsistent right there, can drop a first bomb, does connect the bomb. You don't have to explode it, because that will give Megumi a turn. He does still explode it though.
Yeah, goes in for it, and just a little bit more chip damage. This is the moment. Can you look to try and get a stun going out right here? Does get it on that CR as well, so the immunity bring up is not going to do too much.
Yeah, this is also the moment where if she takes a turn and she can potentially start stunning things, and there's two targets still on immunity, it doesn't really add too much. And this is where Raxxaz can simply take over with his stuns on his field.
Yeah, if he's getting damage coming through from Okeanos. Again, another Fire Megumi loves taking another turn.
Yeah, Fire Megumis are working very well today, and also we're simply chipping down everything right now. So the Hilda was definitely an interesting pick right there. If it was an Irene next to that Ella, I think you could have started locking down more units. But in this case, you're just simply, you were boosting with the Escher, but after that, you had no real follow-ups outside of the units that were off immunity by themselves already.
Yeah, I mean, strange, didn't work out, but you've still got another set to kind of work things around. Ella, she's coming around though. She's still trying to play, but it's going to be very, very tough.
Yeah, especially with that heal block over there, I don't think you have any chance with a Ella plus an Escher. And I think the Escher was a little bit too much of a steal rather than figuring out what do I actually want to do with this unit myself, because it did not fit in that team right there.
Exactly, playing the mind games, but it's not managing to come off for Slappy in that one right there. Raxxaz taking that 1-0 set win right there and actually bringing himself a little bit closer to Slappy in our leaderboard right there. Say 7th versus 6th currently.
Yep, also both would make it to the playoffs in the current state. But then again, who's gonna take that final point on the board today? Pre-bans, what are we gonna be looking at for pre-bans? Jaeger is open for a pre-ban. On the other side, do we go for Gianna even though it wasn't drafted last time around?
I mean, this is why we're here to find out, and it's gonna be Ella's being respect banned there, say.
That's a very well-respected unit that did absolutely nothing in the previous fight, but Raxxaz does know what it can do in a fight, and therefore doesn't like to play against it. But it does give the combination of Gianna and Yeon Hong potentially to Slappy, but that is also something Raxxaz might be prepared for, and would once again most likely go for Megumi plus a speed contesting unit.
Yeah, and he's going straight in there. Like you said, Shiho being partnered up there for it. But we've got that combo coming out, Yeonhong and Gianna.
Now, let's see if Raxxaz likes to play a Hey Gang. He's not really one of those players that locks in a lot of Hey Gangs, but in this kind of scenario, Hey Gang would be very, very strong. But then again, does he have something that he would like more on the side of LDs? He still has the Dark Demon towards the end. He has a Jaeger, he has a Hwarang. A lot of options he could go for in the side of LDs. But I would say a Hey Gang feels very strong right now and pairs it up with an Okeanos.
Yeah, bringing it in right there. You're seeing all of those stuns. You're kind of leaning towards letting that Gianna through into the match right here, but maybe needs another way to deal with her as well. 4th and 5th pick for Slappy then right here. He's looking to try and take that first turn.
Yes, looking at that first turn, Layla might not potentially contest speed enough against the enemy, and we're going for a Pajana, which also not too sure how well that works against the side of a Shiho that might be on buffs. Also, this is potential where a unit like a Juno could take over a whole battlefield.
Let's find out. Has he got a Vamp Juno kind of ready in the wings to go for Raxxaz right here? I know in previous time that 5th pick can always be something crazy. We've seen Nabara potentially coming out right there then.
Yeah, Nobara. If you go for the Nobara, the Pajana actually, weirdly enough, kind of counters that. So I kind of like that pick on the Pajana. But if Veramos is a really good pick against the Pajana, because simply all of those provokes will be removed in one sweep, and therefore Veramos is also off the field.
There we go. Speed leads for both Slappy and Raxxaz right here then in the Summoners War European League. Match 10, set 2. Who's going to get that point? It might determine if you're in 6th or 7th on our current leaderboard right now as well, say.
Yeah, let's see what we're gonna do, because there is full-on will on the enemy side, so therefore we'll be taking turns due to that Hey Gang. We did get the strip over there, but it's not gonna be enough. Stuns. Are we looking for a stun on that Gianna right now, or are we trying to stun something else? Stun on that Erection as first.
Yeah, so he can follow up now with that Okeanos, but goes in for the Piranha instead right there, knowing that immunity is going soon.
Yep, trying to take out everything. Did get the additional turn. Maybe was also trying to prevent the additional turns from the right units, because if something takes an additional turn, if the Piranha takes an additional turn and gets the right skills off, it is game over. But this Hey Gang is making sure that that's not happening anytime soon.
Yeah, he's not managing to take the turn as of right now. I mean, you're getting a defense break. You've got the skill 3. You can heal back up a little bit.
Yeah, you can heal back up, and also this Gianna's not reset, so Bomb is gonna land. Bomb is with a attack break, so it's not gonna do that much damage. But then the big question, 75 check on the skill 3 is nearly landing on all units.
Nearly gets everything right now. Again, Fire Megumi just popping up left, right, and center. Can he look to get some stuns? Does as well. Gets that additional turn. Maybe look to land defense break and a Monkey to follow up as well.
Monkey all or nothing. How much all do we get? We get all in the all or nothing right there. Full rotation on the skills. Everyone is looking at a stun. Once again, Drake Warrior has something to say about that. The bomb is still on that Okeanos right there. You have more and more turns coming in from this Megumi. But is this gonna be enough?
The turn came in for that Gianna, but you don't have the skills. Neither does a Yeonhong right there. You can send another S3 right now. Try get rid, or close to getting rid of a unit.
Yeah, the big question is, do you do enough damage from this point on? We're gonna go for the Alter Ego. It's a good chip bit of damage, but it's not that much. Also, the Pajana hasn't been taking that much turns. Oh, and with the sliver of health, the attack broken bomb from the Gianna is not cutting enough damage, and that is biting Slappy right now with a 1 HP. Okeanos doing so much damage.
Wow, just managing to fight with the skin of his teeth right there, and now Monkey can start clearing up, and it's too little too late, Piranha.
Yeah, Piranha's not gonna be taking that out, and that's just one of those things connecting the kills, but then again, you don't know exactly how much damage the bomb would do. You expect the bomb to get a stun, but if they proc out or they resist the stun, bombs aren't doing what you would like to do, and that is another point on the board for Raxxaz.
Raxxaz with a 2-0 then against Slappy, his guildie right there. Say it's probably going to put him maybe above Slappy as well in our leaderboard. We will be finding out very soon, as there's only one more match still left to go in today's Day 3 competition of the Summoners War European League. Sometimes it's the way that the cookie crumbles, they say. Like, you resist that bomb and you still don't die, and wow, it hurts to watch.
Yep, yeah, especially with an Okeanos from the side of Raxxaz. I know Raxxaz has a very good artifact, so then all of these additional damage units just simply deal so much damage. And we saw that with the Okeanos skill 3. Half of the HP on the whole team was pretty much taken out by one unit of a unit surviving with 1 HP.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what counts. If you're not grinding all of your stats on your runes and you're kind of skimping away, no, I'm not going to use that legendary one. Do it. Look at it. Look what can happen if you get to the top stage right there. It means everything for all of these players right now. So we've gone through it. One more match still yet to go. LastDeadlySin versus Scribble. Kind of a re-emergence of a few 2-0 wins as well. Plenty of draws amongst everything else that kind of happened today. But this is going to be a match where the points are really going to count, I think. Kind of towards the lower to mid-lower end of that table. Can they make it count right here? Favorite going into this one?
Well, I would have to give a slight upper hand to Scribble in this one. Did came off for at least taking 1 point. LastDeadlySin didn't get any points on the board so far today. But that is also the big question. Does Mr. Stickarm make it work?
Exactly. Does he make it work? Please don't. I don't want to see any Inosuke during this one. Got still traumas for myself for him from last week as well, say. But these two players are going to be rounding it off of our day number 3, and this will actually represent the halfway mark in our league phase competition. So at the very end of today, when we have a look at that leaderboard, we're going to see who is currently kind of within those playoff places. There's still a lot of points still up for grabs, and we'll find out who can make their way into those playoffs with the highest possible seeding right here. LastDeadlySin is currently living up to half of his name. The other guy is living up to it all. Scribble that one down. Let's find out. Scribble versus LastDeadlySin, both in 9th place as well at the moment right now. Pre-bans likely to come in very, very soon. Is it going to be a Nyx and a Berghild? Wow.
Nyx and a Berghild. Also, a few units that, if you talk about that pre-ban and then maybe revert the time to a few seasons ago, it would be like, you're inting. These units are absolutely not meta. But right now, they are definitely meta and they're used a lot. Same as this Xingzi with the speed lead.
Xingzi coming in then, Intermission and an Okeanos coming out from the side of Scribble right here. LastDeadlySin with this 2nd and 3rd pick option right here.
Ooh, going in for some heavy stuns as well. I kind of expected LastDeadlySin maybe to already opt to go into a Gandalf plus a Josephine, because that's what you commonly see. But now Scribble could actually opt to go for a Gandalf plus a Josephine, because that combo fits on both sides if you bring that much stunners to the field.
Let's find out if he's hearing us, maybe. I mean, let's find out if he's going to crack that one. Or Sekhmet is coming out. A unit, we know if she lands, she's awesome. If she doesn't, you don't want to see her again. Another unit like that with the Viva Shell.
Yeah, in the end, the all or nothing is on the side of the Shiho on the Water Monkey, but I feel like the units of Sekhmet and Viva Shell are very much all or nothing as well.
Very much so right now. LastDeadlySin backing it up there with a Juno, looking to try and cleanse through any of those debuffs and really get going. 5th pick right here.
It could be towards a Misty or maybe even a Chow. Nope, we're gonna go for Nobara to counter all of those debuffs coming in.
Yeah, a lot of debuffs present on the side of Scribble. Oh no.
Is he gonna do it? He has to ban the Monkey if he does it, because Monkey does take out the Douglas cleanly. Megumi can take out the Douglas. Nobara can lower the Douglas HP by a lot as well. He's flashing it about like once per second by this point. But are you actually gonna lock it in, sir? He does lock it in. Let's see if it gets the respect ban, because that is definitely Shiho ban right there.
Yep, signaling you're getting rid of that Water Monkey. Are you going to back it up? Or do you think you've got enough to go through a Douglas? Maybe a little bit too crazy right there. It is respected. And didn't even ban out there as well. So the mind game's coming in. So speed lead for both LastDeadlySin and Scribble in our last match of day 3 of the Summoners War European League. Let's find out, Sekhmet.
That was a crazy ban right there. Also, no pushback on this monkey, which gives the perfect rotation to the FIFA Shell. If you landed the pushback, you would not have this monkey at this low HP because it would have moved after the FIFA Shell and you had an awkward turn. But right now, it works everything perfectly for Scribble.
He didn't quite get rid of that monkey though, so he can't really look to send S2 anywhere else. You just have to confirm it. No, he's gone for it.
Ooh, he's gone for it. That is dangerous because if you get stunned right now and your Nobara starts getting provokes in, then it might. Yep, that's where we look at the stuns. If you get another stun, yep, that's where we look at another stun. Monkey's gonna take his turns off with a 1 HP. We're not gonna wake anything up. Nothing is gonna take a turn in front of this monkey right now. And ooh, the addition to FIFA Chow is on violent, and it does work out.
Does manage to get it right there, and it can't follow up with any stuns. That monkey isn't going to get a turn for LastDeadlySin right here. Just confirming that kill. Doesn't want to put debuffs out just yet.
Debuffs are coming in. The Nobara did not take an additional turn right there. It's gonna send the S2, which is dangerous. Also, no heal block on this Nobara, so the Juno will heal that Nobara, and that is what you mostly like to see. He's trying to take out this Nobara, but if Nobara takes an additional turn right now, we might be looking at a very quick game.
Yeah, let's find out. Nobara, you've got that first turn right here. Does she get another one? Oh!
Takes the additional turn, nearly taking out all of the HP, and this is the match that Juno loves to see. Juno is like, yep, okay, everything is nearly dead. I'll finish the rest. I'll take out all of those units. We still have this FIFA Gel trying to get a perfect rotation in, but we had such a good rotation on the side of Scribble until this Nobara said, you can proc, I can proc. Let's make the difference.
There we go. And I mean, right now, going into these units, but it's kind of just taking a little bit of time to get through. Viva Chel's, again, there's no perfect opportunity for her.
Yeah, no perfect opportunity. Also, no crit rate on this Viva Gel. It's most likely 100 resistance, but that's not gonna cut it to deal enough damage in this matchup. And where it looked like a very favorable matchup for Scribble with having all of the right tuning in the right moment early on, not taking out that monkey, getting procced on by that Nobara. You know that's gonna happen if you took a few additional turns yourself, and that just did not work out.
No, you said it, Say. It's all or nothing. And it was all for one and nothing for another in the end there during that set right now. Scribble and LastDeadlySin 9th and 10th place. So he's taken that lead in the leaderboard right now as well. How can Scribble look to respond right now in this last set of today? Vivichel being banned out, and also these Dark Twin Angels, okay?
Dark Twin Angels, interesting one. You don't see that being played all too much unless you're watching a Benny SW stream. He's using a lot of that, especially with the FIFA Gel together, but we're gonna see neither of those two units. Oh. And Scribble had it. Scribble locks in a first pick, Sean.
Wow. We've had an Asima first pick today. Now we've got a Shan first pick today up against the Jingje, and with that Nyx as well. Say, this is gonna be cooking.
Yeah, that's gonna be an interesting one. Pairing it up with a Ciara into a Nyx, that's gambling some on your RNG right there, because missing a bomb is crucial, but missing a bomb against Nyx is a lot more potential to happen. So he's taking it away, isn't too sure about it just yet. You already have to deal with the Monkey. Monkey is actually somewhat covered by the stun of the Shan. Nope, we're gonna just a full LD. Full light LD it is. Scribble, can you do all 5?
I did see in chat say as well, somebody might have also said to pick Shan, and it's happened in fruition right now. Let's not get him any more riled up right there. Wooster coming in with that Piranha as well. It's going to be a very beautiful looking one. Yep, it is.
That's a Scribble. If you're here listening right now, focus on your match and don't actually pick a full light team. But I like the looks of it. You can lock that in with an HP lead on 50. No, we have this one odd outlier. You needed the other one. That one is even worse. But this one, in the right usage, it actually works very well.
Exactly. Just ruining the rainbow right there. And then coming in, LastDeadlySin with the final 5th pick. He's looking at the Anavel, very well partnered with that Nyx as well. Bans instant as well on the Lima and the Nyx. So we're going to be having a speed lead versus a HP lead as well coming in. It's our last match, last set of the day. Summoners War European League, LastDeadlySin versus Scribble.
I think that Scribble might actually have a decent matchup at this if his units connect all of the strips and then Shan goes fully on the stun. The only unit that's off-wheel right now is going to be this. Can you get the defense break? Does not get a defense break. Gets a second try on the defense break. Does still not get a defense break that he's so pleased on that unit right there.
does get the slows. This could be the moment, say.
Ooh, it could be the moment, but I see a really crucial miss over there on the one unit that's going to be locking down your whole team. You're lacking all of the immunity right now. Sure, you have the you have to land the stun right now. Does connect the stun.
This could be it, say. I mean, he's showing something. Do we trust in Shan?
Yeah, it seems to be Sean is the answer. Sean first big meta is what it seems to be. Still an NFL on the field, but you rocked off a lot of damage and also the CC potential of your enemy. No skills, additional turn on this unit does actually take it. And that is a defense broken speed buff Squall on the Sean taking out a 26k for a very tanky unit.
Wow. Definitely should listen a little bit more than Scribble right now because look at this gameplay. I mean, LastDeadlySin, you've got Annabelle, but wow. Defense breaks, can you make use of them?
Yeah, the defense breaks, I think they're going to be shaken off too fast. Also, all of the skills connect exactly how Scribble wanted. Did miss out one of the stuns, but that one stun was covered by this Burkle. So once again, 1 apiece.
Wow, Scribble Bibble taking back 1 point there against LastDeadlySin. Probably going to put him back up into that joint 9th position right there, say. I mean, I don't think we saw that coming, right? But apparently one person in chat did see it coming.
Yeah, it was an interesting draft, but it's also one of those drafts that you're not too familiar with because all of these players play a lot on leaderboards and they've seen the Russian first pick, they see what comes after. But if you see a Sean first pick, it's like, okay, but what's gonna come then? Like, is he still gonna go back to AoE strips? Oh, we see more LDs. Is he just had it for the day and just drafting full light? No, it actually did work out.
Yeah, and sometimes crazy things can happen, and that is why we love Summoner's War, guys. There we go. That is rounding up halfway through our league phase competition. We've currently played a total of 33 matches. If you've missed any of the action, go back and watch it on the live uploads afterwards, and you can see all of the action. That was today's action on the screen, and very soon we'll also be looking at that leaderboard as well to see where the points have tallied, who's looking good, who's looking like they need some improvement, and who maybe should really have a long, hard look at themselves in the mirror, right, sir?
Yeah, let's see. Also, none of the left players actually took a victory. Once again, we see Obabo on 9 points, joined by Pavix right now, also on 9 points. And the difference is we have more matches on the board for Pavix at this moment, it seems. Because he had 6 matches in. I thought by this point everyone would be playing 5. But we already have 6 matches in on a few of those players, it seems, over here. But also all the way at the bottom, we still have Malignant and Aryes sitting at the bottom together with Scribble and LastDeadlySin. Those are the players that have to step it up to make it to the playoffs.
Yeah, that mid-table is very close, though. You've got only a couple of points separating Pavix and Obabo starting to get maybe a little bit of a lead going. The more comfortable they can get within this competition, the better it will be during that playoff phase. Remember, we are here every Wednesday for the next 3 weeks at 8 o'clock, either on YouTube or SmokeZzz's Twitch channel right here, bringing you all of that live action. Let us know in chat who your favorite is, who you think is going to win this. Keep showing as much support as you can for all of these players because they're putting out such entertainment for everybody, and that's why we love them. And guess what? We also love you. And because of us loving you, we have another coupon code to give for you. This one here, halfway done. There's actually one in English, which makes it a little bit easier for me right there, say, with 200k mana and 2 mystical scrolls this time. Who are you thinking for that one?
Well, Gandalf, maybe? We're still in the collab. You're missing out on the 10+1 event, but you still have the upgrade for your Gandalf.
Exactly. Get your Gandalf. Make sure you have a look in chat. Mods will be there to make sure the link is available for you to use, and use it quickly. Do it right now, I'll be honest, because you don't want to wait and then forget about it and just really hate yourself for not being there at that time. Say, day number 3 is done. 3 more weekdays yet to go. How excited are you to see how it kind of culminates over these next few weeks? Because it's going to be very important to get those points right.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see. Also, we're going further and further towards the end of the season, which is kind of collabing at the same time. So we're going to see if people shift the meta a little bit, or are we going to be playing the same thing in the last 3 weeks and also going into the playoffs?
Exactly. Make sure you set all your calendars. Check us out on all of the different socials, wherever it may be, bringing you all the action. And if anything, we'll see you next week at 8 o'clock right here.